yesterday. Oh, they were little. They were the little girls, and they were just here, and mean old Trump jumped on them, and oh ho 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 ho. And
It's
like,
amazing. It's amazing how strong these women are until someone says a bad word about them.
yeah, and then they play the women card, and it's like, oh no, I do not know why Mr. Trump is so terrible. It's just, I mean, Omar, Talib, Ocasio Cortez, and Presley, they were just, I mean, what shills. I mean, really, yesterday afternoon. We're going to talk a lot about that. And we'll hear a lot from that beautiful press conference that they did because it brought America together. Yeah. Sure as hell did. Meanwhile, the GOP rhinos who don't know any better, they have not learned anything from Donald Trump. You idiots. None of you know anything. They are about to, those racist tweets against the squad, I wouldn't have done that. I tell you what, I would have just, no, you wouldn't have done that. You would have bent over and grabbed your ankles and let them be un-American as hell, and just let them go. Nobody would have said a word about them. Well, they're women of color and they're Democrats and the media loves them and I don't want to get involved in that. Yeah, because you're cowards. GOP members of the Senate and the House and the legislative branch of Texas, including the governor nearly of Texas, a bunch of absolute spineless cowards. They never do a thing, never take up for a strong, never, ever stand strong on a policy because, well, that might make the Dallas Morning News mad. Who cares about the Dallas Morning News? Nobody reads the damn thing.
Yeah.
I mean, but no. We have to do that. So the GOP rhinos are criticizing Trump for his racist tweets against the squad. Mercy. The House today will vote to condemn Trump over his tweets that are supposedly racist against the squad. Now, remember when Omar blasted Israel and Jews worldwide?
Oh, yeah.
And they were going to condemn her, and then they said, let's just condemn hate speech. And so they just condemned hate speech. They never mentioned Omar at all in their condemnation, which is about as good as, you can use the condemnation of Congress as toilet paper. I mean, seriously, because that's what it's worth.
Yep.
But they're going to do this and of course it's going to go all over the mainstream media. Oh, the House condemned Donald Trump's talking about the squad. Who cares? And Nancy Pelosi, he took up for you, but she's going to bring it up because she's got to stand tall by her daughters who hate her guts. That the squad does not have any respect for Nancy Pelosi, but yet Pelosi runs right back to him. Oh, you poor little girls. Donald Trump being so ugly to you. Give me a break, man. It's just, and they think they're gonna win the White House in 2020 doing this kind of stuff.
Keep it up. Keep it up.
I know.
I think it's a winning strategy for them.
I think it's a winning strategy for Trump. I think that, I said yesterday, Trump trolled them. They swallowed the hook to the tail. And, I mean, it's just, and now anything he does, they're just going to continue to pile on. And now he's made these 4 freshman House of Representatives the face of the Democratic Party. And not Nancy, not Joe, not even, some of the other ones that actually,
And you've even got
Kamala Lala.
You've even got Joe trying to say, look, these aren't the face.
No.
He's trying to even backtrack on this.
But he can't because it's too late. Because Trump has put them in a position where now the squad is the face of the Democratic Party. And if you don't like the squad, guess who you're going to vote for in 2020? You ain't going to vote for the Democrats, even though the squad's not running for president anyway. But Kamala Harris, I mean, she's done. I mean, really. I mean, she can't even say anything that's even close to what the squad's saying because she's running for president. And so, I mean, she's got her mouth tied up, in some respects. Now, Never mind, she still wants to take away everybody's guns. But she's out there. Let's see. What else is on the agenda this morning? Trump administration is raising the bar on asylum seekers because, again, like we reported yesterday, because it just came out during the show, now if you're going to come in to America, you at least have to apply to somewhere else. The first country of entry that you come into, you better apply for refugee status there. And if they turn you down, then I guess you can come on. But you can't come on if Mexico says, yeah, we'll take you. But I do not want to be in Mexico. Well, tough luck.
That's right.
So anyway, the administration has done that. Let's see. Biden down in the polls. Scrappy Joe. I'm from Scranton. I'll take Trump out behind the gym, and I'll give him a good whooping. Yeah. Anyway,
He's all over it.
he just keeps dropping like a rock, and it won't be long till Elizabeth Warren and Kamala Harris are at the top of the charts. It looks like Mayor Pete has got nothing.
Joe just keeps sticking his foot in his mouth.
Well, that's what Joe does. He's a gaffe machine. He's always been a gaffe machine, and I don't know why everybody got excited about Joe Biden as a presidential candidate again. I mean, I'm sorry if you've lost twice already. I mean, he had to get out of the race once just for plagiarism. Back in the 80s. That was a long time ago.
Well, it's not like there's a lot of talent on the left to pick from.
This is true. When we come back, a New Jersey cop who overdosed while he was at his patrol car.
Wow.
Yeah. What do you think happened to him? 866-895-6442.
Your house? Most agents will put a sign in the ground, post it, and pray. My name is Ryan Smith of the Ryan Smith Home Selling Team and Keller Williams Realty. My business is based on getting top dollar for my clients. I believe in that so much that I will put my money where my mouth is. I will guarantee to sell your house in 90 days or less, or I'll sell it for free. I've developed an exclusive marketing system proven to get you up to 18% more money. If you want to know how I do it, I'll send you a copy of my marketing plan for free. 254-213-5335. Using my system, I recently sold a house for David and Janice in Temple's Bentwood subdivision for more than they even thought their house was worth. My system gets full price offers, multiple offers, and bidding wars. That means you make the most money. Don't take chances with your equity. No obligation. There's no commitments. You're not happy? I'll let you out of the program. There's literally no reason not to call us. 254-213-5335. That's 254-213-5335. We are the Ryan Smith Home Selling Team. Call us today and start packing tomorrow.
Social Security Disability Attorney Ed Laughlin.
Are you disabled and unable to work? Have you been denied your Social Security disability benefits? Well, tell the federal government that you mean business. Call me toll-free at 1-800-492-2589 to schedule an immediate appointment with me in Killeen, Temple, or Waco. I'll appeal your denial and work hard to get you the benefits that you deserve. That's 1-800-492-2589. The phone call is free, and so is the appointment. You'll feel a lot better.
If you're an advertiser, think about this.
Your prospects are bombarded with messages. Some, like TV commercials, can be fun. Some, like pop-ups and spam, are annoying.
And in a crowded media environment, it's important that you stand out.
That's why we seek out great sponsors with products and services that make your life better.
We feature your message in a radio show that's upfront, never background, and we talk about you on air.
It's all about branding and keeping your product top of mind.
So call or email us today.
Be part of the Logic Nation radio family.
I was visiting my 75-year-old aunt the other day when her phone rang.
Hello? It's you again.
She seemed nervous.
Well, I don't think I need any more life insurance.
The caller was doing a great job keeping my aunt on the line.
Okay, so you need my credit card number?
My aunt went to get her purse, so I decided that I would ask a few questions. Well, as soon as I introduced myself, the caller hung up.
Gruff the Crime Dog here. Recognizing the signs of fraud can be difficult for older people. Often they're very trusting and consider it impolite to hang up. The National Crime Prevention Council wants to educate seniors so that these scams can be reported to local law enforcement agencies.
Financial fraud can include identity theft, fake check and wire transfer scams, investment and credit card fraud, and online charitable solicitations. Unfortunately, only 1 in 5 of these crimes are reported. To learn more, go to www.ncpc.org. That's ncpc.org. This message brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council and the U.S. Department of Justice.
Welcome back into Logic Nation. This is either a stupid story or a very sad story, probably both. A New Jersey police officer who was on duty behind the wheel of his patrol car in April overdosed on heroin and has now lost his job. As you would hope that he would, according to a press release from the Somerset County Prosecutor's Office in New Jersey. Matthew D. Ellerly, he was 29. He was on duty April the 7th around 1 a.m. Dispatch attempted to reach him by police radio. When Ellery failed to respond, a second officer went looking for him and discovered him unresponsive in the driver's seat of his patrol car while parked in the driveway of a business. Thank goodness the officer who came to find him was also an EMT, and he was able to determine that Ellery was suffering from an opiate overdose and proceeded him to give 2 doses of Narcan, which reverses opioid overdose in patients. Friday, Ellerly pled guilty in Superior Court to possession of heroin and driving while intoxicated. As part of his plea deal, he forfeits his job as a police officer. He'll lose his license. He's scheduled to be sentenced in August. He'll also be required to go 5 years in Somerset County Drug Court Program with an alternative sentence in the third-degree range for 3 to 5 years in Jersey State Prison if he fails to successfully complete the drug court program. Ellerly had been with the department since 2016, and you wonder, and CJ brought this up, you wonder how many people he arrested that maybe had heroin on him because he maybe planted it.
You have to wonder. I mean, when you've got a cop that's arrested under the pretenses of something that he arrests people for, you have to go back and look at those cases, especially if they claimed that it was planted.
Yeah, and in court. They don't give his background, so I have no idea. Maybe, if he got hooked on opioids, coming out of a major problem, or if he just got hooked on opioids.
Yeah.
Because, it's one or the other usually. And so it's kind of hard to say. But on the other hand, at least they got him off the streets in New Jersey because, you really, when you call a cop for help, you don't need somebody that's high on heroin. At the time.
Exactly.
Wow. 52-year-old Perry Carty was a man who worked all week and would spend his evenings at his favorite pub every Friday and Saturday, and he passed away. And his friends and family decided to honor him with a coffin that looks just like his favorite beer can. He loved Foster's, the Australian beer. It's a heavy.
Australian for beer.
That's right. It's a heavier beer. Anyway, so they figured out a way to make sure that he was honored, and what they did was he apparently got into a scuffle outside his favorite pub, and the guy caused serious injuries to his head on Friday, April the 19th. Perry ended up dying that Sunday, and the guy is now in police custody, probably going to prison for a very long time. Perry supposedly was a hardworking man who worked Monday to Friday so he could go to the pub on Friday and Saturday nights. But his sister said she spoke to the funeral directors and asked if we could have the coffin wrapped like you can do with cars. He said it was possible. He gave us a quote. A traditional coffin would have been about 400 pounds. We paid 700 pounds to have the Foster's can imprinted on it. And that's what it looks like if you're watching on YouTube. It's really good copy. He was buried basically in a can of Foster's beer. So,
wow.
That's kind of, I'm sorry. That's what the guy liked, and apparently, he died before his time. So that's good. Good for the family.
I wonder if Foster's paid for the funeral.
They should have.
They had an advertisement right there.
Absolutely. In Michigan, the Buckingham Recreational Facility Association has a public service announcement for its visitors. Stop pooping in the pool.
Yes.
In a notice posted Friday afternoon, the association's president said the community pool had to be closed because someone has been defecating in the pool. And yes, they believe it's on purpose. Due to the frequency over the past week, we believe this is intentional. The neighborhood pool in Macomb Township, Michigan, in response to the repeated offense, the board president said they are reviewing attendance logs and recorded videos. Rest assured, we are following published guides to restore the pool to a safe and sanitary condition. Serial pooping problems have plagued the Michigan community in the past. In 2014, Police departments made contact with an individual who'd been pooping on public park slides. Seriously? Eeh.
Good God.
I mean,
was that San Francisco?
No, it's Michigan. I mean,
is that Talib's district?
Probably. I don't know, but it wouldn't. Would it surprise you?
No,
No.
not at all.
Wouldn't surprise me at all either. Man, who does that? I mean, really, it's just nasty. I mean, not only is it nasty, but I just can't imagine. You know, even if I needed to go that bad,
Yeah.
you know, not in the pool, for goodness sakes. I mean, come on. That's terrible. In Italy, insects and bugs aren't exactly the most appetizing food items, but that doesn't stop a quarter of the Earth's population, an estimated 2 billion people, from eating insects on a daily basis.
Have you ever had those crickets?
No, I haven't.
Oh yeah, they like freeze-dried crickets, and they make them in ranch or barbecue.
No,
Or,
I'm not
they're actually not that bad. You should give it a shot.
I mean, I eat raw oysters, and everybody thinks I'm nuts, you know, already. So that's enough. You know, a lot of people
I
are
learned
like,
how to
oh,
eat-
that's squiggly and nasty. It's like, no, it's good. With some Tabasco, it's very good.
Yeah, I learned how to eat some insects in SEER school.
Cricket juice is healthier than orange juice, according to this. Many insects are loaded with antioxidants, according to this study.
And protein.
Yeah, no, they're no doubt about that. They've got protein. In the future, we might adapt dietary regimens for insects rearing in order to increase their antioxidant content for animal or human consumption, according to the people that are doing this. Of all edible insects, grasshoppers, silkworms, and crickets display the highest level of antioxidants, almost 5 times more than fresh orange juice. It's worth noting that all of those insects are vegetarians, while carnivorous bugs such as giant water bugs, black tarantulas, and black scorpions all displayed negligible antioxidant rankings. To be fair, scorpions and spiders aren't insects, they're arachnids.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but still, I'm not. I can't go there. I mean, I'm not going. Like I say, I'll just let I'll let oysters on the half shell stand for my weirdness, which I don't think is weird, but some people do.
Mm-hmm.
But crickets, I don't know. You know, when it comes fall, you know, they come up and they gather in front of storefronts and things like that, and you're stepping on them, and it's like, ugh, nasty. Why would I want to eat that? But you've eaten them.
I've eaten them.
Okay.
I've eaten grubs, which are incredibly nasty because they pop in your mouth and they're all juicy on the inside.
Ugh.
Crickets, which are not so bad. They're not so hard to eat. You just got to pull the legs off. It's a little easier if you pull the legs off, but some people don't pull the legs off. If you get them at like one of those stores that sells them in a box,
Yeah.
it's a little easier to eat because they're sort of processed. I don't know if they're processed, but
Processed
but they're
crickets.
coated. They're coated with like barbecue or ranch or something like that. But yeah, they're not bad.
Yeah.
I'll have to bring you some
Crickets.
crickets.
Okay. Like I say, I know people that won't even talk to me when I'm eating oysters on the half shell, or if I'm eating seafood at all. And you know, there's certain things in seafood that people don't like. And you know, if you eat crab or you eat lobster or any kind of crawfish or something like that, they're. I guess I shouldn't say anything about crickets because they're bottom feeders and they're the insects of the water, basically. I mean, if you're eating lobster or you're eating crawfish, you're eating insects of the water. That's all they are. So I guess, you know, and I eat those things from the water. So I guess I should probably be more open-minded about
Well,
crickets.
do you eat you like crawfish?
I'll eat it. Yeah.
And we call those mud bugs.
Well, they are. That's what they are.
Yeah.
Seriously. 41 shot, 9 fatally over the weekend in gun-controlled Chicago. That gun control thing's really working.
It's working out great.
41 people shot, 9 fatally over the weekend in gun-controlled Chicago, according to the Chicago Sun-Times. 31-year-old Raymond Hicks was shot just before 6 o'clock Friday night, then found in an alley with wounds to his chest and his head. He was pronounced dead at the scene. 57-year-old George Bingham shot to death outside New Prairie Hotel in Garland Park just before 2:30 in the morning on Saturday. And an unidentified 30-year-old was shot to death in Grisham at 3 a.m. Saturday. He was one of 5 wounded during a drive-by shooting. So, as usual, the gun control there in Chicago continues to do well. I'm up to the point now to where I believe that Ron Emanuel's whole deal is let the two gangs have South Chicago and let them cull the herd. Just kill everybody until, then there won't be enough gang members there. They'll have to all form up together, and then you can talk to them. Maybe that's Ron.
Make The
Emanuel's.
Purge a documentary again?
Yeah, maybe so. I don't know. Nobody stops it. No, they pass gun control laws. Big deal.
At Logic Nation, our power is in our callers. In fact, Pat's on the phone. Pat, welcome to Logic Nation. What's on your mind today?
I get that you're the Logic Nation, but what about love, peace, and harmony, man? Why don't you ever talk about these issues?
We try to keep our listeners informed about local issues that matter to them, both locally here in the great state of Texas and in our nation.
You talk an awful lot about freedom and constitutional rights, but what about my right to express my emotions like love, peace, and harmony? What about my right to not be offended by what you're saying?
Well, Pat, you've gotten off the Logic train, and now you're boarding the Emotional Express. That's a high-speed rail to nowhere. Here at Logic Nation, irrational emotional instability has no place in logical discussion.
But I need constant reassurance that my emotional stability will be coddled and my opinions force-fed to me.
Listen to Logic Nation Monday through Friday from 8 to 11 a.m., right before Rush, right here on KTEM, where logic is never derailed by emotion.
You wanted to see me?
Yes, please, have a seat. So here's the thing. When this company brought you on, we took a chance on you. You didn't have that 4-year college degree we typically look for.
Right.
But we gave you a shot anyway. And since then, you've worked incredibly hard and given it your all.
Thanks.
You've been an important asset to the team, but I don't think you can be an intern here anymore. We want to hire you.
You're serious?
Absolutely.
Find your next great employee. Introduce yourself to the Grads of Life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
I won't let you down.
I know.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
For almost 2 centuries, Americans have enjoyed the valuable privileges of freedom. Now, freedom needs each American to dedicate himself to its preservation. We must not allow our liberties to be endangered by neglect of our duties as citizens. During this year of rededication, join with your fellow Americans in reaffirming the principles on which this country is founded and the safeguarding of those principles. Make it your business to see that federal, state, and local governments are conducted honestly. Help to maintain the good morale of your sons and daughters in the armed forces. Learn the facts about all candidates and issues. Then vote for the one you believe in. Make the most of every minute on your job. Produce as much as you can, and thus increase our military and economic strength. Work for better schools and a better community. Guard your American heritage of freedom. It needs you.
Olivia from Washington. Laid off and trying to keep our little kids from realizing that Mommy and Daddy haven't eaten in a while.
Roger from California. I'm grateful we could afford our son's surgery. I'm nervous that now we can't really afford food.
Daniel from California. Choosing whether to pay the rent or pay to fix the car to get to work doesn't leave us with much at all. Now we can't even pay for meals.
Donna from Louisiana. The storm just hit, and we went from donating to the food bank to needing it.
Keisha from South Carolina. I've been skipping meals so my 2 kids can eat, but filling up on water doesn't really work.
Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
the soothing tunes of Logic Nation.
Oh, yeah. I hope Pat's listening. This is Logic Nation. I'm David Hodges along with C.J. Grisham as we enter the second half hour. From the Ed Loughlin Attorney at Law Studios, temperature outside, let's see, 79 degrees this morning. 866-895-6442 if you'd like to jump in here. Next hour, we're going to talk about the squad and Trump and how Trump's just terrible and the squad.
All the drama.
The squad's so perfect.
The D.C. drama.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, meanwhile, a Sunday editorial in the New York Post called for Democrat New York Governor Andrew Cuomo to oust Democrat Mayor Bill de Blasio, who's running for president, for his absence during a citywide blackout. However, Cuomo simply said it is up to the voters to decide if they want to push de Blasio out of office. Cuomo says, I do govern New York City, but I govern the entire state. And that's up to the people of New York City, what they want to do. New Yorkers are opinionated, and they speak their mind, and they will make their voices heard. De Blasio, who's on his third term as New York City mayor, is term limited and can't run again. And he was running around pretending to try to be presidential while the blackouts happened in Manhattan on Saturday night. And why anybody's mad at that? I mean, the blackouts on Saturday night happened in New York. How did I sound like I'm defending de Blasio, but what would have de Blasio done? If he'd have been there, what the heck would he have done?
I don't understand what everyone's in New York is like freaking out over anyway. They've been living in the dark for decades.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Con Edison Power Company is warning residents that there could be more to come as weather forecasters predict a heat wave for this coming week in New York City. And I hope to goodness that Fox and all the other mainstream, I don't care about those. Now, forget it. I don't care. MSNBC and CNN, they can do what they want. But I would hope to goodness that if another blackout happens in New York City, Fox doesn't go 24/7, wall to wall on the damn blackout in New York. Who cares?
Well, they care because it affected them, apparently. So,
I know.
When it affects them.
The media. And so that's, we've got.
The whole world is over because the media was inconvenienced.
Yes. It's just, stop it already. It's way overdone because, there were 5 hours they were out of power. Well, I'll tell you what, the city of Hewitt, or at least my part of the city of Hewitt, a couple of months ago was out without power for 3 or 4 hours. Was there any television coverage of it? Not even in the local.
See, you should have called KNCT and said, hey, my power's out. Can you cover the story?
Yeah, come. Oh, my gosh. We're going to die. I know. It's like, whatever. It's so stupid. New York's got power problems, apparently. Well, that's what you get for living in New York. Top White House advisor Kellyanne Conway has defied a congressional subpoena to testify before a House committee about alleged violations of federal law regarding political activity. She blew them off yesterday. Conway rejected the subpoena at the direction of President Trump and his advisors, according to a letter from the White House counsel, Pat Cipollone, to Representative Elijah Cummings, the chairman of the House Committee on Oversight and Reform. No, the House Committee on How Can We Get Trump Today is what it should be.
Yep.
In the letter,
they might as well just rename that committee the Trump Hate Committee.
Well, they've got too many Trump Hate Committees.
Trump Hate Committee 1,
Trump Hate Committee 2. That's all they do in the House. In the letter, the lawyer wrote that Ms. Conway, as a senior advisor to the president, had immunity from testifying. White House Press Secretary Stephanie Grisham also issued a statement calling the committee's efforts to get Ms. Conway to testify as a purely political campaign to harass the president and his close advisors. Mr. Cummings called a White House immunity argument a baseless claim in his opening remarks yesterday, to which Ms. Conway had been directed to attend because she must come in front of the House of Representatives. Really? Apparently not. And because she didn't do it. So, these guys, the people of the House of Representatives have lost their, if they had minds to begin with, they've lost it.
Yes.
They're drunk with power, they think. well, you've got to come to us, and we must decide if you are guilty or innocent. And we won't do anything about it, but we'll scream at you for 3 hours. And you can bring a lawyer that you can pay $1,000 an hour for. So, whatever. Isn't that great? I mean, it's stupid.
And it'll all be taxpayer funded.
Yeah, of course. China's economic growth has slowed to its weakest pace since 1992. Stock market was up again yesterday. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
In America?
Yeah. Trump made sure that the squad knew that.
Apparently, the tariffs ain't working so great for China. And that's so sad. China's economic growth slowed by more than expected in the second quarter. The economy grew at 6.2% annual rate in April through June. That's the slowest quarterly expansion in decades. U.S. tariffs and uncertainty around trade negotiations weighed on the growth. Economists had expected an economy to slow to 6.3 per annualized pace after growing at a 6.4 rate in the first 3 months of the year. The trade fight appears to have held back investments despite government encouragement and big tax breaks aimed at stimulating the economy. Exports fell on a year-over-year basis in June as higher U.S. tariffs kicked in. So this deal of, China will just choke us off, and Trump's tariffs, they're going to kill us, the economy. Yeah, they're killing the economy. Killing it in Iran. Killing it in China. 866.
You mean in those S-hole countries?
Yeah. 866-895-6442. Back in a moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, spring has sprung, and it's time for spring cleaning, and your headquarters for that is Smith Supply, located at 5202 Midway Drive in Temple, Texas. They have everything to clean anything, residential or commercial. From inside your house to outside at your pool, Smith Supply can run a complete computerized water analysis for free. Then the experts at Smith Supply can recommend the chemicals that will get your pool looking great for your family and your friends this spring and summer. They can also keep your pool in outstanding condition all season long. Plus, they sell pool equipment. With everything to clean anything, Smith Supply can help your inside cleaning as well. Don't forget, they deliver within 150 miles of Temple and can ship anywhere in Texas. So, get your house and pool in spring cleaning shape and save money on high-quality products. SmithSupply.com or call 254-773-3592. That's 254-773-3592 or online at smithsupply.com. Since 1961, Smith Supply.
Divorce attorney Ed Laughlin. Is your marriage on the rocks? Have you been wanting to get a divorce but just haven't found an attorney that you can afford? Well, your search for an affordable attorney is finally over. I'm attorney Ed Laughlin, and I've been helping Texans get fast, inexpensive, hassle-free divorces for 25 years. I offer reasonable fees and always allow my clients to pay out their fees in payments that they can afford. Call me today at 773-8399 or toll-free 1-800-492-2589 to schedule a free confidential appointment to get started. The first visit is always free.
What are you waiting for? Call Ed Laughlin today at 1-800-492-2589 or visit Ed's website at edlaughlin.com. That's 1-800-492-2589 or online at edlaughlin.com. That's 1-800-492-2589. Let Ed help you with all your legal needs. You'll feel a whole lot better. See Ed's ad in Names and Numbers.
Mike Moolah here to tell you to wrap your head around success and talk straight. Cliches don't solve problems. It's a win-win situation when you hire me to speak to your business. I will cause a paradigm shift in your profitability by showing you visionary ways to circle back and think outside the box. The Moolah Plan is where the rubber meets the road as we ballpark success as a team and go back and sharpen our pencils to right-size your business plan. I'll show you how to manage the optics of changing through creative destruction and downsizing while making customer service our number one priority. Our employees are of utmost importance, so let's square the circle and at the end of the day, take the lipstick off the pig and strategize the perfect storm. Mike Moolah's Moolah Plan, an agent of change. So don't leave any money on the table. Hire me to speak to your business today. Remember, hope is not a strategy.
Back Back on Logic Nation for your Tuesday. Again, top of the hour, we'll get to the squad firing back against the president as they continue to play right into his hands. They have no idea. I mean, President Trump has trolled this bunch to the point that they are wrapped up in each other so much that they have no clue. It's fun. I mean, it's funny. We'll talk about that at the top of the hour. Brian Stelter, meanwhile, on CNN's show, the most ill-named show on television, Reliable Sources on CNN, because they talk about the media and how good the media is and how bad the media is. Basically, it's a show that is like, oh, Fox News, bad. All the rest of us, good. And it's only, they never say anything about Shepard Smith or anybody like that, Chris Wallace, but it's Sean Hannity and Tucker Carlson and all the rest of them in the nighttime that are bad. Judge Jeanine, bad. It's just try. I don't want anybody to watch it, to tell you the truth. But if you do want to, go ahead and, lose an hour of your life, go ahead and watch Reliable Sources.
I've already lost too many hours of my life.
Man, Brian Stelter's CNN show, Reliable Sources, has lost more than 40% of its viewers since the beginning of the year, it says here, according to the ratings, which doesn't bother Jeff Zucker, the far-left extremist responsible for running CNN into the ratings dirt. I mean, Zucker doesn't care, apparently. They just keep going down, 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 down in the ratings, and nobody seems to care. Because I guess they've got other sources like CNN International that keeps CNN America going. But, remember when James Earl Jones, I remember when CNN was the only mainstream cable network that did news constantly. This is CNN. And, that was back during the first Gulf War and things like that. And they were kind of fair. I mean, they didn't, they weren't trashing Bush during the George H.W. during the first Gulf War. And it was a news organization. Now they're just absolute hate. Reliable Sources is up against Fox's Media Buzz with Howard Kurtz. It's an hour-long weekend show that looks at the news media. Both air opposite of each other on Sunday mornings at 10 o'clock our time. So you're not going to get a better comparison. Stelter's ratings problem is due to an overall decline in Sunday cable news viewing or a waning interest in news about the news media, except during the last 4 weeks, between June 16th and July 7th, Media Buzz on Fox averaged more than twice as many viewers as Reliable Sources. 1.135 million compared to Stelter's pathetic 557,000. So, but Brian Stelter, he's like 5'1", he talks like this, and he's a bald guy. So it's his sex appeal. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Gotta be. It's gotta be sex appeal. I don't know. Anyway, but CNN continues to die, and yet they just keep on pumping money into it and keep on propping them up because they got to get Trump. If they get Trump, it'll all fix itself because he's the problem, not them. Antifa. Wanted to do this yesterday, but didn't get a chance to. An Antifa member was killed assaulting an ICE detention facility, and there's no discussion to be had about it. I mean, you don't even see this in the mainstream media. You don't see it on Fox. The police fatally shot an Antifa person who was attacking an immigrant detention center in Tacoma, Washington, Saturday morning. The man was armed with a rifle, was throwing unspecified incendiary devices at the Northwest Detention Center, according to police. The man, identified by officials on Saturday afternoon as Willem van Sprazen, 69, of Washington State, continued throwing lit objects at buildings and cars. One car was completely engulfed in flames. Mr. van Sprazen also attempted and failed to ignite a commercial-sized propane tank attached to the center, according to witnesses. And this is a 69-year-old guy. And he was trying to blow up this detention center. And he got shot doing it.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, Antifa. I'm sorry. That's the way it goes. If you want to go to war with the U.S. Military and the Border Patrol and everything else, I hope they shoot you. I don't want them to shoot you, but I don't want you to do stupid stuff like that. 69-year-old German guy from Washington. I mean, it's obviously obviously he has background in Germany.
Well, there was a guy yesterday that said he was going to take a crowbar and break into the Clint station.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he got put on his face at gunpoint. Lucky he didn't get shot.
Yeah. Antifa's not near as bad as they think they are.
No, they're not.
Unless they've got 20 people and they've got a little young guy or a very old person. And that's when they shine.
Rich is just a really, really, really good guy. The term good egg isn't enough to describe him. He's also certified organic and free range. Rich puts the cap back on everything. The toothpaste, the olive oil, the shampoo, everything. He lets his 10-year-old nephew beat him at virtual tennis, even though he can straight up slay his 10-year-old nephew in virtual tennis. When the toilet paper is running low, Rich replaces the roll on the actual holder, not just on the back of the toilet. Rich is texting and driving. Rich, no. What are you doing, Rich? I was just telling everyone how great you are. Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Excuse me. I know you have a 9 o'clock, so I'll keep this short. I'm the business suit in the back of your closet. You wore me nearly every day before your office went, quote, casual. I used to be the CEO of your closet. Now I'm just that one intern no one ever talks to. I always thought you'd circle back with me. Get granular. Keep me in the pipeline. But nada. Nothing. Don't you remember the McKittrick presentation? You spilled coffee on me, and I still looked amazing during the breakout talkback Q&A. So, I think it's time for me to move on. I've got a great resume, and I absolutely crush it in interviews, okay? Let's make this a clean break. Shift the paradigm. The only thing I ask is that you think outside the box here and do this. Take me to Goodwill, where I can really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create new jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community. To find your nearest donation center, go to goodwill.org. Donate stuff. Create jobs. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes?
How could he do this to you? And for Sheila, she has split ends.
B, console her.
Oh, sweetie. This is going to happen a lot. 4, maybe 5 more times before you get married.
C, take charge.
Got to get this all straightened out. Give a little talking to, man to man, mano a mano. Hey, Steve. Is now a good time? No? Okay, no problem. Bye.
Or D, help her find a new boyfriend.
I know a great place to meet boys. The internet. Nice, single boys. Never mind. How about some ice cream?
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head.
Welcome back as we wrap up hour number 1 of Logic Nation here on a Tuesday morning. There'll be peace when you are done. I wish. I really wish that would be the case. I'm not, Kansas has high hopes. So let's get into this. This is interesting, I think. So Daniel Craig has announced he's standing down as James Bond after the next 007 movie. And the world has been going nuts saying the next 007 should be black or a woman.
Or both.
Well, how about both? The black woman who will be the next 007. The new James Bond film will feature British actress Lashana Lynch taking over the famous codename of 007. But that doesn't stop legendary agents from trying to seduce her. In a popcorn-dropping moment, the actress has been handed Bond's number. Bond girls have been renamed as Bond women in the new movie, and the new Bond movie will pay tribute to the past 007 films. So now we have the black female James Bond on the horizon. Glad Sean Connery's not around. You want to see that movie? I mean, seriously? My question is she going to be bisexual as well? Would that surprise you if she seduces other women? I mean, crazy stuff. So, black woman will be James Bond. Well, guess what? David won't be watching that. No, I'm sorry. I'll just go back and watch Diamonds Are Forever or something like that with Sean Connery in it.
Yep.
The real James Bond, you know?
If you want to create, look what they did with the Men in Black. I mean, if you want to add another character that's a female that works with James Bond, but 007 was the moniker for James Bond. Give her 008, 009,
nope,
001.
Can't do it. Got to be, you're not woke.
Yeah.
Neither am I, and that's why I won't go. I've already vowed I'm not going to watch the movie. It's not because I don't like black women.
These weren't the 007 movies. These were the James Bond movies.
Yeah, I know. And so I want to watch James Bond, and Daniel Craig plays a good James Bond, and I thought that Sean Connery was the best. Daniel Craig probably second, I think. Roger Moore wasn't bad. Timothy Dalton didn't get much scripts to work with. That was when they were trying to make it gritty. And help me out. Golly, I can see him. He's a British guy, and he's played a lot of good movies. I just can't remember his name off the top of my head. Anyway, he's Remington Steele back in the day.
Yeah, Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah, and he was pretty good. I liked him, but I mean, it's just, I don't know why you want to screw things up by changing everything. I guess the new bunch will love it, but I'm not. You're losing the old people on this one because I don't know. 282 are arrested in France after an Algerian win in a football match. That would be soccer. That's another reason I'm not real fond of soccer. I know you played soccer, but somebody wins a football championship or wins a big football game, and only in Detroit and places like that do they burn the place to the ground.
Yeah. Well, South America, they're pretty good at that too.
But South America, they do it all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Big celebrations erupted around France, which is home to the large Algerian origin community after the Algerian football team beat Nigeria 2-1 in a semifinal. The Interior Ministry said 282 people had been arrested on Sunday night, almost all of them linked to the football match, while some were detained on the sidelines of France's National Bastille Day celebration. 50 people arrested in the French capital after clashes broke out between football fans and police that morning. It was littered with broken bikes and scooters. Oh, my gosh. Broken bikes and scooters over a soccer win.
Broken bikes and scooters. That's quite the revolution there.
Wow. Just some manly men over there. I'm just saying. Hey, more than 200 people were disciplined for dangerous driving, according to Paris police. Algerian supporters with the country national flag celebrated after Algeria won the 2019 African Cup of Nations semifinal football against Nigeria. So they're headed for the championship. God help Paris if they win. But they'll burn that sucker to the ground. Back after the top of the hour news, this is Logic Nation. The number to call is 866-895-6442.
Unexpected reactions to smart financial decisions brought to you by feedthepig.org.
Well,
I finally did it. I opened a 401k.
So you're giving up? Just like that?
Giving up on what?
On getting an inheritance from a distant relative.
Don't you think if there were a billionaire in the family, we'd know about it by now?
Listen to me. We are one phone call away from riding horses on our own private polo grounds. One call from christening yachts, having a butler, using summer as a verb.
How do you figure?
Look, everyone's got a rich uncle somewhere. It's statistics. So the best thing you can do is just prepare for the inevitable.
Right, which is why I thought maybe it would be smart to take control of my finances. You know, start using a budget, get out of debt, set some retirement goals.
Budgets? Debt? You watch your mouth. Retirement shouldn't be a goal for us. It should be a way of life.
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
So you see, son, good manners are very, very important. Someday, many years from now, when you're a grown-up, you'll be a man. And when you are, you should be a gentleman. Do you want me to go through it one more time?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, and excuse me. Sit up straight, hold doors open for ladies. If a door's shut, then knock first. Don't burp, don't swear, don't speak with your mouth full, don't reach across people's plates, keep your elbows off the table.
What table?
And don't interrupt. While we're at it, don't stare, don't use foul language, don't call people names, but do remember people's names. Always share your toys, play nice, and cover your mouth when you cough or sneeze. On the bus, give up your seat to anyone who has trouble standing bottom line. Treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
And stop picking your nose.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But spending just 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier and could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. For fun 2-minute videos to watch while brushing, visit 2min2x.org. That's 2min2x.org. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
You're not wired to have a response to this sound. You're neutral to it. You hear it every time you finish a meal and never feel anything. But if we were able to associate this sound with a new stimulus, save the food, we've achieved pulling a natural response from you. Save the food. Why are we doing this, you may ask? Save the food. Because this ad is trying to change your after-meal behavior through brainwashing. Because food waste costs the average family $1,500 a year. Save the food, cha-ching, and $1,500 extra bucks is like getting a pay raise. Save the food, cha-ching, you're promoted, which could pay for your child's braces. Save the food, cha-ching, you're promoted.
Check out my braces.
So when you hear this sound, rethink your behavior. Cook it, store it, share it. Just don't waste it. For tips and recipes, visit SaveTheFood.com. Brought to you by NRDC and the Ad Council.
Welcome back into Logic Nation. It is Tuesday, the 16th of July. From the Ed Laughlin Attorney at Law Studios, it's 80 degrees outside. A little muggy out there. Cloud cover. I mean, there's some sunshine out there as well, but it's partly cloudy, I would say.
It's kind of, but it's supposed to be like 98 today.
If I was Andy Anderson, I tell you what, it'd be partly cloudy. I like it. 866-895-6442, the number to call. And here's your hour if you've been waiting to unload, and I hope most of you will. Let's get some of the tension out. Let's get some of the, let's you have your say, because yesterday was hard to take because the squad came out against Trump. The Democrats have come out against Trump.
So it's another day.
The rhinos have come out against Trump because of his racist comments. I would ask you to go back and look at those tweets that Trump put up. He never mentioned skin color at all.
Nope.
There's nothing about skin color. He never named names in the first 2 or 3 tweets. Now, he did start naming names yesterday, but none of this is racist. And yet, Trump's a racist, so we have to say that.
Mm-hmm.
The House is mulling a resolution condemning Trump for his squad comments. House will vote on a resolution condemning Trump for comments on progressive squad, according to Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi, who Donald Trump defended a couple of days ago, saying she was clearly not a racist. But now Nancy's got to stand up for her 4 little girls.
Yep. Because, those strong women, they need her help.
Absolutely. The squad. Clear line has been drawn to the sand between President Trump and the squad of progressive freshman lawmakers who have emerged as the loudest voices of the Democratic Party. Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, Rashid Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, and Representative Ayanna Pressley. The president forcefully stood by his call for congresswomen to go back to where they came from and come back and show us how it's done rather than criticize the Trump administration. He demanded they apologize for apparent anti-American hate. In response, the squad has referred to Trump as a racist occupant of the White House who needs to be impeached. And Nancy Pelosi, who has had troubles with the squad, now has decided to come to their defense. And we're going to have a vote today, apparently, to have a resolution condemning the president for his racist comments against the squad.
Well, here's what's funny. So, did you have a...
No, go ahead.
Yeah, so what's funny about all of this is a couple of things. I went and looked at the racial makeup of Congress. The current Congress right now of the non-white House and Senate members by ethnicity, there are 56 black members of Congress, 43 Hispanic members, there's 100, 17 Asians, 4 Native Americans. Out of this 121 non-white people, Trump is such a racist, he's going after 4 of them. The 4 of them that have done nothing since they got into Congress but call Trump a racist.
And bash America.
And bash America.
And bash Israel.
Bash Israel. And I don't really care about Israel. I mean, in this context. But you bash America.
Israel is one of our key allies.
Yes.
And Omar can't keep herself from bashing Israel. I mean, she's an anti-Semite. I mean, let's just face it.
So why isn't he going after constantly Cory Booker? Why isn't he always going after Elijah Cummings? Why isn't he always going after Maxine Waters?
Or Sheila Jackson Lee.
Sheila Jackson Lee. I mean, he's going after these four because they are complete morons.
Yes, they are.
And they're the ones that are sticking their right foot in and doing the hokey pokey.
Exactly. Here's Trump doubling down on telling the squad, if they aren't happy, get the hell out.
All I'm saying that if they're not happy here, they can leave. They can leave, and you know what? I'm sure that there'll be many people that won't miss them. But they have to love. They have to love our country. They're Congress people, and I never used any names. But these are people. Quiet.
Mr. President?
Quiet.
Are you okay with people
Quiet.
thinking your tweets are racist, sir?
Quiet. These are people that if they don't like it here, they can leave. And I don't know who's going to miss them, but I guess some people will.
And, of course, the little press person over there, the reporterette, Mr. President, Mr. President, Mr. President, Mr. President. Shut up, basically. That's what he told her. And good for him. I mean, he's trying to make a point. He's trying to make a speech and, trying to say something. But he can't finish it because the reporterette is over there. No, Mr. President, they're American citizens too. Okay, they're American citizens, but they say they hate America, so get out of here.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, here's more Trump.
Because many people agree with me. And all I'm saying, they want to leave, they can leave. Now, it doesn't say leave forever. It says leave if you want. But what it says, what that says is, if they're not happy with the United States, if they're doing nothing but criticizing us all the time, you see these.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did that cut off?
I guess so. Anyway, let's go to the phones. Here's Keith.
You're so thin-skinned. Trump is one thin-skinned individual. You Republicans or Democrats, we condemn Obama for Syria and Libya. But this thin-skinned individual can't take a little heat without telling someone to leave the country. That's something good that we should tell our children and that they should hear, that they repeat to other children.
The children. Is that where you're going, Keith? I mean, here's the deal. Trump's more thick-skinned than anybody. Obama couldn't take any kind of criticism at all, and he never got any from the mainstream media.
I'm going to allow anyone else to have a say.
All right. Keith, look, we're going to have a conversation. Keith, we're going to have a conversation or we're not going to talk at all. Keith, we're going to have a conversation or we're not going to talk at all. This is going to be a two-way street.
I'm done with you guys because you know why? You promote his racist behavior.
What racist behavior? No. Explain his racist behavior, Keith. Go ahead. Keith?
He dropped off.
Okay. Because he doesn't have any racist behavior, does he, Keith?
If he would have just shut up for half a second, I would have actually agreed with him on something. I actually agree that Trump is thin-skinned, but I also believe that every single politician is thin-skinned because none of them like bad press. None of them like being criticized. I mean, look, the squad there, they had to have an entire press conference. Why? Because they're thin-skinned, because they can't take criticism. Whenever Schumer comes out there, he can't take criticism. Bernie can't take criticism. I think the only person that takes criticism is Mike Gravel, and then he laughs about it and makes fun of it.
I think Trump has got a lot of thicker skin than most politicians.
This is
because he goes out of his way to cause some of this and let them fire at him. Because that way he can fire back.
If Keith wants to call back and have a discussion without him just screaming the whole time, I would love to have a discussion with him. The problem is with the left. They don't want to have a civil discussion. There's no such thing. They want to scream epithets at you. They want to scream racism at you. And they just want to scream at you. That's it. That's all they have. And if they can't shut you down, they shut up.
Well, I gave him a chance to tell me about Trump's racism. And he hung up. So
please, if you're on the left and you disagree, call. But we're going to have a civil discussion or we're going to have no discussion.
866-895-6442. Back in just a moment.
Social Security Disability Attorney Ed Laughlin.
Are you disabled and unable to work? Have you been denied your Social Security disability benefits? Well, tell the federal government that you mean business. Call me toll-free at 1-800-492-2589 to schedule an immediate appointment with me in Killeen, Temple, or Waco. I'll appeal your denial and work hard to get you the benefits that you deserve. That's 1-800-492-2589. The phone call is free, and so is the appointment. You'll feel a lot better.
Here at Logic Nation, we're here to inform you, entertain you, and engage you.
We're also here to keep you informed about great products and services. Our goal is to seek out great sponsors for two major reasons.
The first reason is that we need sponsors to ensure that we can continue bringing you cutting-edge commentary, sound bites, and callers.
Second, we love telling you about companies that make your life better.
That's logical.
So make your company a part of our radio family.
At logicnation.us. Today.
You hear the Logic Nation on our great radio station in this area, but there are other places to find us as well.
To be a caller on the show, the Logic line is 866-895-6442 or 866-89-LOGIC.
If you'd like to join our radio family as a sponsor, email me, David Hodges, at david@logicnation.us or executive producer Luann Anderson at la@logicnation.us.
Find us on Facebook, too. Like our new Logic Nation page to keep up with the articles and videos that we use on the air. Also find show content on Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram.
The official show site is logicnation.us. Go there for information about the show and to access our official live stream.
Our great affiliates are streaming as well, so look for us on their websites.
Most important, catch us on this radio station you're enjoying right now. Tune in and be logical.
The Logic Nation is in touch. Hope you'll be too.
I'm a veteran. We hit a mine in Vietnam. When I came home, I didn't know where to turn.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
My victory's been never giving up hope. My wife is always there to remind me we have a life to live.
DAV provides a lifetime of support, helping veterans of every generation get the benefits they've earned.
I am a veteran, but after I got out, I spent 2 years alone and homeless.
Every year, DAV helps more than 1 million veterans so they can reach victories great and small.
My victory was finding the support to get back on my feet. Now I'm getting things right with my family.
I finally admitted, with my PTSD, I wasn't doing well.
But there's more to be done and more victories to be won.
Now I wish I'd found DAV sooner. I am a veteran. My victory is just enjoying each day.
Help support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Okay, here's one of the racist comments that Trump made over the weekend on his Twitter feed. On Sunday, he tweeted in part, "Why don't they go back and help fix the totally broken and crime-infested places from which they came? Then come back and show us how it's done." And everybody's like, he's talking about Omar. Yeah. No, what? No, because Tlaib is from Michigan. Right. That's a hellhole.
Yes,
and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is from the Bronx, which is not much better. And then the other one, Ayanna Pressley, she's from she's from Ohio, though she works out of Massachusetts.
See, and here's where people like Keith are too unintelligent to understand what is really going on, because all they hear and all they ever want to hear is one side. They want an echo chamber.
Mm-hmm.
And so what the Fantastic Four did when they went up there, you just read the tweet.
Yeah.
But yet what they did was they said, quote, "Go back to your countries." They literally said, quote, and this is the quote, "Go back to your countries." He never said that. He never said go back to your country.
Yeah, but
ever.
He never mentioned that.
But that's what people like Keith
can't
get through their thin skull.
And he never mentioned there were people of color or anything like that either. Let's go to Raymond in Temple. Hey, Raymond.
Yes, sir. I was just going to say one thing. I've listened to that guy that came on there, that Keith. I believe he spelled Keithei or however. But either way it goes, it is what it is. Trump didn't say anything racial. All Mr. Trump said, if you do not like it here, leave. Just leave. Now, what is there racist about that? If you don't like it here, leave. He didn't mention no color, no race, no nothing.
No, he didn't.
Leave.
He really didn't.
So that guy's an idiot. Whoever that guy came on there, he don't have no kind of a function of all to analyze any kind of conversation. Period.
Well,
he just said, leave. If you don't like it here, leave. It is what it is. Leave. Bye. Listen, man, you have yourself a good day. Thank you.
Thank you, Raymond. Yeah, I mean, Keith is also, I mean, he's one of our, he follows us on Facebook. And this is Obama's economy, incidentally, according to Keith. I mean, seriously.
Still.
Yeah. I got it in print, from him, that this is Obama's economy. This has nothing to do with Trump. Obama, for 8 years.
But yet
couldn't solve anything. And then all of a sudden Trump comes in, and Trump rides the coattails of Obama's grand, his long game experiment.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Seriously. Okay, here's Lindsey Graham on the squad.
We all know that AOC and this crowd are a bunch of communists. They hate Israel. They hate our own country. They're calling the guards along our border, the Border Patrol agents, concentration camp guards. They accuse people who support Israel of doing it for the Benjamins. They're anti-Semitic. They're anti-America. Don't get down. Aim higher. We don't need to know anything about them personally. Talk about their policy.
Yeah, and he's right. Lindsey called them communist. Trump said they're socialists, definitely. Yesterday, he said, I watched Lindsey Graham talking about the same subject, and frankly, even stronger than what I'm saying. He said they're communists. I'm just saying they're socialists. Yep. So, yeah. Let's go to Con in Temple. Hey, Con.
Well, I just want to say that your previous caller does not understand the difference between a debate or a discussion and an argument. He didn't want to debate or discuss. He wanted to scream and holler and argue. So, do those kind of people not have the mental capacity to have a discussion?
I'm going to say, well,
I'm not going to.
I don't know, because
I'm not going to say he doesn't have the mental capacity. I think he does.
I just like to see it first.
But the thing is, he doesn't have any facts on his side, and that makes it hard to argue when people are throwing facts at you, and you don't have any. Then that it comes down to racism or bigotry or xenophobia or homophobia or misogyny. You know how it works.
Well, I just had a discussion recently with a man he really hates Donald Trump and he loves Barack Obama. But our discussion, and I say discussion, it lasted an hour and a half, and it was very civil, and I enjoyed the discussion, and I think he did also. But that was not an argument. That was not some radical somebody screaming and hollering and all that kind of stuff. It was a discussion.
Yeah.
And that's what I enjoy, and I think you do too. If you've got a good point, make the point, and I'll see if I can understand it. But to just scream and holler and use vulgar language, that's not a discussion, and that's not someone of great mental capacity that wants to talk to you.
Well, like I say, if you don't have facts, then it's really hard to argue. And debate because you don't have anything. And so the minute that the facts come up and get flipped in your face, then you either hang up or you continue to scream.
Well, all they have is emotion. And you cannot have a discussion when it's full of emotion. You just need to argue or debate the facts of the case. And in this case, there is no facts against Donald Trump. There's only emotion. And that's what I see permeating our country now is emotion, where you're hollering racism and all that kind of stuff. They don't have a way to defend their statements. They just want to holler racism. Well, where is that going to lead our country? Whatever happened to civil discourse and civil debate?
No, I'd love to debate. I like to debate people and to listen to them talk. In fact, in some cases, we've had liberal callers that have called up here and been able to talk, and it's like, yeah, okay, I kind of see where you're coming from. I may not agree with it, but at least I see where you're coming from.
And if Keith would have just been quiet and listened, I would have agreed with him. I think Trump does have thin skin. I think every politician has thin skin, but I do think Trump has thin skin. But that doesn't matter. So what? That doesn't make him racist. Now let's talk about your racist claims. Does he have thin skin? Sure, absolutely. So does Omar. So does AOC. Good golly, AOC, every time someone says anything, who's all over Twitter? AOC. Who's on Instagram? AOC.
Who's blocking people on Twitter?
Yeah.
AOC.
Well, I know that y'all don't agree with everything I say and vice versa, but we have a civil discussion about it, and that's how you solve problems. You do not solve problems by injecting emotion and looking for every little nitpicking thing that you can criticize. That's not how you solve a problem.
No. I mean, and like you say, if you can't just sit here and talk, I mean, let's talk about it. I don't have a problem with that. Anybody that wants to call up and talk, even if they don't agree with what we're talking about or what we're saying, that's fine. I don't have a problem with it. I'll listen to you if you'll listen to me. But if you're just going to scream, then it's not going to work.
Well, see, that's the key, what you just said. They have to listen to you also. It's not a one-sided thing. It's not a one-way street. It's a two-way street. But some of the radical Dems, they don't understand civil debate or civil discourse. They just want to argue and scream and holler and use the F word. I don't have time to talk to idiots. I do enjoy talking to smart people, but I don't have very much time for idiots. So,
again, they don't have any facts. They know the facts, that whatever the mainstream media told them yesterday, and what they want to believe, and Barack Obama walks on water and all that jazz, and Donald Trump's the most terrible human being that ever drew breath, even though he just swamped Hillary Clinton in the Electoral College. But
yep.
So whatever they want, I mean. Everybody's got to live their own lives, I guess.
Well, I appreciate y'all's program, and I appreciate the fact that you put up with me and other people like me. But I hope that we're having a civil discussion about the facts that we're confronting today in America, not some emotional, radical, emotional argument that somebody wants to make.
No,
anyway,
I agree.
I'll hang up and let some intelligent person call in.
Well, we just had an intelligent caller.
That's right. But we appreciate it, Con. And the thing is, if you think that what Keith did right here on the air was bad, it's not just Keith. You should see some of the people that attack us.
Send us messages.
Yeah, that attack us on Facebook. I mean, the nameless people, because the anonymous thing on Facebook is they can just jab at you and you don't know who they are,
mm-hmm.
and they take advantage of that big time, and that's the way it goes. President Trump has called on the squad to apologize for their foul language, and they should apologize for their foul language and the terrible things they have said, and they should apologize to him, basically, as President of the United States, which I know triggered them yesterday. He also said that Democrats are too petrified to confront the pro-terrorist squad. He said the far-left Democrat squad has uttered some of the most vile, hateful, and disgusting things ever said by a lawmaker on Capitol Hill, and Democratic Party leadership is unwilling to take them on due to fear of the radical left. And he's right. When we come back, Mike, hang on for me, and we will go to you, and we'll also continue to hear AOC and Presley and Tlaib.
DWI and criminal defense attorney Ed Laughlin. Just because you or a loved one has been pulled over or arrested for DWI does not mean you're guilty of DWI. I'm attorney Ed Laughlin, and to be arrested and charged with DWI, the officer has to only have probable cause that you're intoxicated. It's only the officer's opinion. However, to be convicted of DWI, your guilt must be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, which is a much stricter burden. If you have been arrested for DWI or any other offense and want an attorney who will rigorously defend you, call me at 1-800-492-2589 or log on to my website at edlaughlin.com. Over the past 25 years as an attorney, I've been both a prosecutor and now a defense attorney. You need an experienced attorney who will work hard to get you the justice that you deserve.
What are you waiting for? Call Ed now at 1-800-492-2589 to schedule a free confidential appointment or visit Ed's website at edlaughlin.com. First visit is always free. You're going to feel a whole lot better. See Ed's ad in Names and Numbers.
You wouldn't steal from a department store, would you? Shoplifting doesn't only hurt the store owners, it puts every employee's job in jeopardy. And if everyone shoplifted, it would weaken local economies to the point of unsustainability. The same principle applies to Social Security fraud. People who receive more benefits than they should or illegally get benefits by lying to Social Security aren't just making the system insecure, they're literally stealing from honest taxpayers. Anyone can report fraud anonymously. You can learn more about Social Security's relentless anti-fraud efforts at www.socialsecurity.gov/anti-fraud-facts. We aggressively investigate and pursue prosecution of those who try to cheat and steal from the system. Shoplifting and stealing from your neighbors is morally and ethically wrong. The same goes for stealing from Social Security. If you suspect someone is committing Social Security fraud, report it online at http://oig.ssa.gov/report or call the Social Security Fraud Hotline at 1-800-269-0271.
It can begin with an email, a phone call, a flyer in the mail, or perhaps a misleading website. Loan modification scams. They come in all shapes and sizes and under different names. Loan rescue firms, counseling services, mortgage consultants, sometimes posing as a legitimate mortgage company willing to help you modify your loan and get caught up with your payments. But beware, these are highly trained con artists looking to steal your home. They often know who you are, where you live, and because it's public record, know if you are on the brink of foreclosure. You're not alone, however. The National Crime Prevention Council and U.S. Department of Justice have partnered to help homeowners identify and steer clear of these scam artists.
McGruff the Crime Dog here. Protect your home and safeguard your finances. It only takes a little time to become informed. Start by finding a free legitimate housing counselor today.
Take the first step. Visit www.ncpc.org/mortgage-fraud. That's ncpc.org/mortgage-fraud. This message is from the National Crime Prevention Council and U.S. Department of Justice.
A popular Christmas movie features the story of a dejected businessman who sees life as if he had never been born. He discovers that, despite all his failures, he has brought joy and life to countless people. Each person has so much potential for good, and nowhere is this potential greater than with an unborn child. This Christmas and always, please work to preserve the wonder of life for the unborn and their mothers. This has been a perspective on life from National Right to Life. For more information, visit our website at nrlc.org.
Sweet strawberry icing. You're in Goodwill, and just past that vintage denim jacket you spot miniature donut earrings. You lean in. Ah, that's the scent of shopping success. Because at Goodwill, every item you buy funds local job training and more. So bring home those donut earrings and bring home so much good to your community. Goodwill. Bring good home. Brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
KC in the sunshine. Yeah, man. 866-895-6442. David Hodges, CJ Grisham on Logic Nation, broadcasting with the Ed Laughlin Attorney at Law Studios here in Temple. A little overcast here, 81 degrees outside, and as promised, we'll go right back to the phones. Here's Mike in Temple. Hey, Mike.
Hello there. How you guys doing?
Hey, good.
Just wanted to first thank you guys for being on the radio every day so I can brighten up my day, knowing that you guys are out there telling the truth and supporting the Republican Party. I was calling in reference to the previous caller that kind of went belligerent on the line. I found out that I'm an older guy, 65 years old. I ride around with a bunch of older guys. We deliver cars throughout Texas, and all of us are Republicans except one. Not my first-hand experience, but talking to friends that are Democrat, but the ones that I do talk with, it's come to my knowledge that these guys basically are people that the facts. They don't realize that a lot of the media that they listen to on TV and radio is pro-Democrat, and all they're doing is lying, wanting to brainwash the public so they can get their way. I tell you what, when we all voted for our president, and I don't say Trump, I say our president, that we wanted a guy that could operate this country like a business, not like a political stage that's been so many years in the past, especially when you go back to the Clintons and Obamas. Those guys, they were in it for personal gain and nothing else. We've got a true president here on our hands who really cares and loves America, and, you know, he wants people to love America. What's wrong with that? You know, I get this guy that he wants to holler and speak out louder than anybody else and won't listen. He probably doesn't even realize that a lot of the slaves that were brought to America by boats that were owned by black people. They were in it for personal gain. They didn't care what color your skin was. All they cared about was the dollar. And I can tell you that a lot of these people, I have friends of all races. I'm not a racist. I grew up with blacks. Some of my very best friends are blacks. It has nothing to do with racism. It all has to do with the fact that if you love America, it's like Trump said, if you love America, stay in America. If you don't like what's going on, go back to your country and fix what's broken over there instead of running over here and trying to fill out what we're doing good. I'll vote for Trump till his terms run out, and I'll be happy to support him in any way, form, fashion I can. Thank you, guys.
Hey, thanks, Mike. That was a good call.
Well, I'll just make one correction. Again, Trump did not say go back to your country. He just said go back to where you came from.
Yeah.
Go fix New York, which is broke. Go fix Michigan, which is broke. Go fix
Massachusetts.
Go fix the.
That's where Presley's from.
The most concentrated district of convicted Muslim extremists, terrorists in Minnesota. Go fix that district. That's what he's talking about. Go fix those. Go back to where you came from.
But Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez takes that completely out of context, as do the media and everything else. They're trying to make this a racist thing because all the women are women of color. But he never mentions the fact of their skin color or anything like that. Ocasio-Cortez says it's unfortunate that he feels the way he feels about people of color in this country. He doesn't. I mean, he's employed I don't know how many people of color, people that are gay, lesbian, and everything else, and yet they totally ignore the fact that, but because they can call him a racist, but they call him a racist. You know why they call him a racist? Because they're calling us racist.
And yet he's going after 4 people out of 116 lawmakers that are not white. He's not going after the other 112 because they're not saying stupid stuff. They're not pushing socialism. They're not spewing America hate. That's why he's not going after all of them. He's not doing it because of their color. He's doing it because of what they're saying.
Exactly.
What their positions are.
Now, let's go back to AOC. This is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. The country belongs to everyone, Mr. Trump.
And so the first note that I want to tell children across this country is that no matter what the president says, this country belongs to you. And it belongs to everyone. And today, that very notion was challenged. This weekend, that very notion was challenged. So I am not surprised when the president says that 4 sitting members of Congress should, quote, go back to their own country when he has authorized raids without warrants on thousands of families across this country.
They don't need warrants. They're already under deportation orders. Warrants, hell. I mean, I don't know what she's talking about.
She doesn't know what she's talking about.
No, she doesn't know what she's talking about. It's ridiculous. If I got time for Ilhan Omar, let's see here. We're going to try real quick. Here's Ilhan Omar yesterday at the Squad press conference.
This is a president who's called black athletes sons of bitches. This is a president who has called black people who come from black and brown countries holes. This is a president who has equated neo-Nazis with those who protest against them.
Yeah, Antifa. And he only called one. It was an imaginary player, but he said it was a coach. If a guy took a knee, I'd tell the SOB to get out of here. She's, again, taking everything out of context. But, hey, she's one of the squad. Hang on, if you're on the phone lines, we'll come to you next. This is Logic Nation.
Need to sell your house? Most agents will put a sign in the ground, post it, and pray. My name is Ryan Smith of the Ryan Smith Home Selling Team and Keller Williams Realty, and I work hard to get my clients top dollar for their house. I'm so confident in my system that I will guarantee to sell your house in 90 days or less at a price you agree with, or I'll sell it for free. I've developed an exclusive marketing system proven to get you up to 18% more money. It doesn't cost anything to see what I can do for you. 254-213-5335. Using my system, I recently sold a house in Windmill Farms for David and Kim before their house even hit the market. I only get paid when you get results. Don't leave money on the table. Call me. No long-term contracts, no obligation. You're not happy, you change your mind, fire me. It is that easy. There's literally no reason not to call. 254-213-5335. That's 254-213-5335. We are the Ryan Smith Home Selling Team. Call us today and start packing tomorrow.
Here at the Logic Nation, we often encourage you to be logical. Now, I've got two more great words to live by. Get supplied. With Studio L as a center point, Smith Supply will provide you with everything to clean anything and deliver it on time within 150 miles. That means we can deliver cleaning supplies to any facility, any business, including hotels and motels, even industries and factories, anywhere in the Killeen, Temple, Fort Hood Metro, Waco, and Austin. No matter where you are, we can ship to your order. We also provide janitorial services and building maintenance in some areas. And our Temple showroom and our online catalog are open to the public. We're here to save you money and get your supplies to you on time, every time. So, get supplied. Since 1961, we're Smith Supply, 254-773-3592, and online at smithsupply.com.
Looking for a news source that gets you the news 12 to 18 hours after it happened? Sure you are. That's why you need the Morning Times Post. What better than walking out to your driveway and picking up a crisp, unless it's raining, feature paper? Nothing. The Morning Times Post. All the news we think you should know. Plus, our nameless liberal editorial board will help you know how to think about the news. Love Barack Obama? Scared of terrible earth-ending climate change? Voting for Hillary? You'll love the Morning Times Post opinion page. And wait, there's more. You need a subscription to also get our features. Want features on feeding the homeless? We got that. Will the marina be built right? I don't know, but you'll find out on our front page. Plus sports, comics, horoscopes. Where else you going to get that? Get your subscription today at our highest prices yet. The Morning Times Post. Good enough news source at $18.90. Good enough for you now.
You've painted up your lips and rolled and curled your tinted hair.
Welcome back into Logic Nation. Number to call is 866-895-6442. Let's go to Gary in Belton. Gary, you're next.
Yeah, I just want to alliterate on this. Trump telling them to go back to their country. That ain't what he said. And your friend Keith happened to say, oh, he was racist. They want to talk about racist. Let's talk about Omar and them saying, if you do not agree with us, you're an Uncle Tom. Now, that's racist.
Pretty much. I mean, Presley had a statement out, and I'll play it for you in a minute, that basically we don't need any black faces or brown faces that won't speak the right way, basically. I mean, if you don't speak Democrat, then if you're a black person or a brown person or any other kind of person and you don't speak Democrat and follow their way, then we don't need you.
Exactly.
it's ridiculous. I mean, the way they're doing it now, they've come out with the House Homeland Security Committee Chairman Benny Thompson, who's a Democrat from Mississippi. He's seeking extra protection for members of Congress and the squad because Trump has, he fears that they're going to have violence against them.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
Oh, please.
Isn't that ridiculous?
Yes, it is ridiculous. Because I'm going to tell you something. We prayed and prayed hard for a president that was not not a Democrat, not a Republican, just a regular person, a businessman, because that's what this country needed to get it back on track. And he has done one heck of a good job. And for people to stand up and say that he's racist, that he has said these things that he hasn't said, to put him through what he's been through since the day he was elected president, and not just him, but also the people that voted for him. I mean, a lot of them have been physically injured.
Yep.
And you know what? That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
It's
Antifa
too
and
bad.
things like that. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
It's just sad that the Democrats can't just roll with the, the Republicans just roll with the flow. When Obama was voted in, did we pitch a fit? No, we did not. We said, okay, this is our president for the next how many years? And then when he was voted in again, we didn't pitch a fit and drag people out of their car and beat them up and shoot people because they were Republicans or Democrats. Because they were Democrats, we just went with it because that's what Americans do. They go with it.
Well, they pretty much play by the rules. That's the main thing. And yeah, you're right.
And now we have people in our country that are determined to take this country over and to make it, this is my opinion, to make it a socialist country. And that's not happening because Americans won't stand for it.
Absolutely. No, Trump's already said that that's not happening either because of we're not becoming a socialist country. Appreciate the call, guys. Let's go over here to David in Temple. Hey, David.
Morning, fellas.
Morning.
So, Omar said something about Charlottesville yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let's be factual about Charlottesville and the guy that just got sentenced to life plus 400 and some odd years. The fact that, A, he was being chased by an Antifa member with an AR-15. The Antifa member is a professor at some local college where the so-called white supremacists were holding a rally. They weren't white supremacists. They were people that were protesting the removal of a statue, and they obtained a permit for that protest. The Antifa, the Black Lives Matter, were the aggressors. The guy that ran the chick over, he was trying to get away from that professor. The professor, the video's on YouTube. It's very resourceful. Sorry, but there's so much background noise.
Yeah, I've seen the video.
So it wasn't white supremacists. It was people exercising their rights. And
yeah, a lot of them were. No, good call, David. Yeah, that was part of it for sure. But this guy got life plus 400 years for running over that woman because Charlottesville, the most racist place on earth, according to the modern-day Democratic Party. Jump in here, 866-895-6442.
Ranger Station, Ranger speaking.
Hi. I'd like to report a bear hug.
Okay.
Well, before I left my campsite, I was putting out my fire, and out of nowhere, Smokey Bear showed up and hugged me?
So you drowned the fire, you stirred it, drowned it again, and felt that it was cold?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. He likes it when people correctly put out their campfires. He's pretty big on wildfire prevention. He's just letting you know you did good. with a hug. He's a hugger.
I just got a bear hug from Smokey Bear. Status update.
All right, I'm going to let you go now. I've got a lot of ranger stuff to do. There are many ways to start a fire, but one sure way to put it out. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service Ad Council and your state forester.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. With millions of YouTube views, shares, Instagram likes, followers, and fans across the globe. But what do all these amazing pets have in common? Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a shelter or adoptable pets near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard? Well, that's entirely up to you. Visit theshelterpetproject.org and hear more about Hamilton the Pug, Toast, and Keyboard Cat's amazing adoption stories. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Your perfect pet is just a click away at theshelterpetproject.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
This is how we do every day. We be grinding, and if you want to come and text us.
If you love them enough to turn off your music and pretend like their music is your music,
This is Mommy's jam.
then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Let's play it again.
Check today at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Welcome back into Logic Nation. Close out hour number 2. You want to talk about the squad or Trump
Her hair is hollow.
and the fake calls of racism from the media and the Democrats and some in the GOP, for that matter. You're welcome to do it at 866-895-6442. Representative Rashida Tlaib yesterday accused President Donald Trump of hating America and using his racist tweets to distract voters from his lawless presidency.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. No, that's what Tlaib said.
Wait, okay, is he a white nationalist? Is he a nationalist, or does he hate America, Democrats? Come on.
I think
Which is it?
He hates our country, and I'm American just like anyone else. No, you're not, Tlaib. Actually, you're not, because you would support any kind of terrorism overseas and things like that. And you don't want it to come to your place, but you support some of that. And there's no doubt about it. I mean, she's already talked about it. Anyway, she accuses Donald Trump of hating America and using racist tweets to distract voters from his lawless presidency. What is lawless about his presidency? I mean, good gosh, the guy gets stopped by the law constantly, not because it's actually lawful even, but if a federal judge says, no, you can't do that, then he tries to find another way.
Democrats give me a headache because they complain about the fact that he's all America first. America first, America first. Oh, he doesn't care about the rest of the world. He only cares about America. And then now Donald Trump hates America. What's wrong with you people?
Yeah, I don't know. Here's a line Omar from last
I know what's wrong with them. They think Americans are just as stupid as they are.
Well,
and that we're not going to remember that stuff.
And the point I was trying to make earlier is this is not just about Trump. They shoot slings and arrows at Trump, but it's about us. It's about the people in the middle of the country who actually voted for him and will vote for him again in 2020, and because they hate us. They hate us. The elite, and it includes some of the GOP, they just despise us because they are so much better and so much more knowledgeable.
He's launching a blatantly racist attack on 4 duly elected members of the United States of House of Representatives, all of whom are women of color. This is the agenda of white nationalists. Whether it is happening in chat rooms or it's happening on national TV, and now it's reached the White House garden.
Oh, give me a break, Tlaib. I mean, that's
there
not
you go.
Tlaib. Excuse me. That's
Yeah, it was
Omar.
Omar.
That's Ilhan Omar.
Well, you got Tlaib saying that he hates America. Now, literally, right before Tlaib goes on, you've got Omar here saying that he's a white nationalist. And then, see, when you can't argue, you scream like Keith does. And if you can't scream because you would sound like a shrill banshee, you just scream that everybody's a racist.
Not made.
I am just fast on the trigger. I don't know why. There's more Ilhan Omar.
I have not made impeachment central to my election or my tenure. But since the day that I'd gotten elected, I'd said to people, it is not if he will be impeached, but when.
If he will be impeached, but when. Yeah, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There's the representative in the House from the Muslim state of Minnesota.
And she sits there and talks about she hasn't made impeachment a campaign issue, but yet when she was campaigning, she did make it a campaign issue.
Yeah, of course she did.
She talked about impeachment of Trump.
Yeah, and she talks about, she hates Israel and she hates the Jews. And I mean, she's a piece of work is what she is. Here's Ayanna Pressley. This is from a couple of days ago. But see if this doesn't sound racist to you.
If you are not prepared to come to that table and to represent that voice, don't come. Because we don't need any more brown faces that don't want to be a brown voice. We don't need black faces that don't want to be a black voice. We don't need Muslims that don't want to be a Muslim voice. We don't need queers that don't want to be a queer voice. And if you're worried about being marginalized and stereotyped, please don't even show up. Because we need you to represent that voice.
Ayanna Pressley, the fourth of the
Now that
squad.
Can you imagine if Trump had said that?
Yeah. I mean, that's as racist as it gets.
That is.
Because basically, if you're black, Hispanic, Muslim, gay, whatever, and you are not towing the Democratic line, we don't need you.
If you are off the Democrat plantation, then you are not a real person of color.
That's right.
And your voice does not matter unless it conforms with what we tell you it's supposed to say. That's the only time your voice matters is when you do what we tell you to do like a good slave.
But
that is the modern Democrat Party.
But she is sitting there calling Donald Trump a racist. Yeah. Back after the top of the hour news, we'll take your calls on this and more. 866-895-6442. This is Logic Nation.
I've been waiting so long. I know you've been wondering about me.
When you say you support the troops, do you mean it? Hi, this is Lou Diamond Phillips for the Veterans of Foreign Wars. Every day, more service members are coming home from combat. In many cases, they return to no job, no money, and a lifetime of stress. That's where the VFW steps in, providing emergency financial support with their Unmet Needs program. For over 100 years, no one has done more for veterans than the VFW.
Please help us help them by texting the word HERO to 90999 for a $10 donation. That's HERO to 90999.
Chris, can you put the video game controller down for a second?
I can talk and play. Oh, I'm totally annihilating this punk kid in Nebraska.
I just feel like you're not acting like a grown-up in our relationship.
Am too.
Well, you still ride your skateboard to work, there's the comic book collection, the race car bed.
Look, I'm young at heart, but I put money into my 401k every paycheck. I picked up a few savings tips at feedthepig.org. I have control over my financial life now, and that feels pretty grown up.
Put away a few bucks, feel like $1,000,000. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. For free ideas and easy tips on ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
So, I bet I look like a grown-up to you now.
Well, except for the footy pajamas, I'd have to agree.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Look, no one likes an awkward silence, but it can do a lot of good. So seize the awkward.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
Reach out to a friend who might be struggling with their mental health. It doesn't matter how you ask. For more information, visit seizetheawkward.org.
Welcome back into Logic Nation, final hour here on a Tuesday. From the Ed Lawful Attorney at Law Studios in Temple, 83 degrees outside. I'm David Hodges, CJ Grisham alongside, 866-895-6442. And despite the fact that the squad has been harassed by Donald Trump, the Dow hit an all-time high less than 10 minutes into this morning's trading session. So what's more important to you? I mean, the squad or how the Dow breaks a new high after 2 days of record closing? It's
We can't be talking about that.
Already hit a record high today. So just, the squad, right? It's got to be the squad. Oh, my goodness. I've never seen so much over 4 people, but Trump has got it exactly the way he wants. Now the Democrats have come to the squad's defense. And who is now the face of the Democratic Party?
Mm-hmm.
The squad. And, forget all these people who are running for president. They can't even keep up with the squad. Isn't that right? It's Ilhan Omar. What do you got for us?
So we can either continue to enable this president and report on the bile of garbage that comes out of his mouth, or we can hold him accountable to his crimes. We can continue to turn a blind eye of the multiple crimes he's accused of. We can stand while he violates people's basic rights and the responsibility that his administration has for the deaths of children on our border.
His administration has nothing to do with the deaths of the children at the border. I'm sorry. The deaths of the children at the border were caused by their own families or the coyotes who sold them to somebody. That has nothing to do with the Trump administration. For goodness sakes. I mean, this is just rhetoric. I mean, just absolute BS. Barbara Streisand, of course. But, I mean, it's just everything they say in all these cuts. And we've got quite a few of them still. It's just, so much. Here's AOC now, how much she loves this country.
We don't leave the things that we love. And when we love this country, what that means is that we propose the solutions to fix it. We love all people in this country, and that's why we believe healthcare is a human right. We love all children in this country, and because we do, that's why we fight for education for all children through college. And so we'll stay focused on our agenda, and we won't get caught slipping.
Well, you just did.
Well, you won't get caught slipping.
You got caught slipping yesterday, baby. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, they had this press conference.
Every clip that we ever show of AOC is her slipping. I mean, when she's sitting there trying to get Homan at the committee hearing, she gets called out. When she's in there trying to get Barr, she gets called out. I mean, the woman is so ideological, she cannot see reality.
No, but she's also talking about stuff that, isn't going to happen. We're here for basically the Green New Deal and all that. Yeah, that's going to be good for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and the squad. Man. Ayanna Pressley, she says she calls the president the occupant, not the president. Ayanna Pressley from Massachusetts referred to the president, Donald Trump, as the occupant of the White House. I will refer to him as the occupant as he is only occupying space. It does not embody the grace, the empathy, the compassion, the integrity that the office requires and that the American people deserve, according to the lovely Ayanna Pressley, one of the squad. But it gets worse. As you knew would happen, Rhino Republicans then started coming out of their rock and slithering out to come to the microphone and agree with Democrats that Trump is a horrible human being. Senator Mitt Romney, failed presidential candidate, couldn't beat Barack Obama, gave the dadgum thing to Barack Obama back in, 2012, but now he knows everything because he's a senator from Utah. Never mind, he used to live in Massachusetts. He moved to Utah because guess what? He's a Mormon. And that's why he thought he could win, and he did. Monday, he said, President Donald Trump's challenge to far-left congresswomen, the squad, to leave the United States is destructive, and argued the president has failed badly at uniting the country. Thank you, Mitt Romney, you worthless piece. Kamala Harris says Trump's tweets are absolutely racist and un-American. Well, what would you expect from Kamala Harris? She's always going to say something is racist because she pretends to be an American black person, even though she's Jamaican Indian cross.
I figured it out. So I went and I looked in the dictionary, the Democrat dictionary, and found out that racist means I don't like you.
Yeah,
There you
apparently.
go.
That's
I disagree.
Yeah.
That's the fourth definition of racist.
Oh, and Mitt Romney, destructive. No, what was destructive, Mitt, is that you didn't run a decent campaign and you didn't stop Barack Obama after 4 years. You let us have another 4 years of Barack Obama.
Mitt's going to run for president again.
Well, good. Let him run. He'll get buried just like Joe Biden's going to get buried before this is all said and done. Let's go to Brenda. Hey, Brenda, how are you this morning?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Oh, well, fired up, I guess.
I know. I am too. That clip y'all played a while ago of AOC talking about the children.
Yeah.
I want to know how they can stand there and consciously talk and not even, surely it registers to them, but stand there and talk about loving the children and wanting the children to have the best life and yada, yada, yada. But in the same breath, turn around and promote abortion all the way up until the child's born. I don't understand how they can consciously do that.
Well, every senator that's running for president on the Democratic side voted against a bill that would give a baby care if the abortion didn't work. They all basically voted to say, hey, well, just kill it. That's all right.
Yeah.
That's Boyney and all the rest of them. Kamala, who, the Miss Racist.
Right. But down there crying at the border fence, which wasn't really where she was.
Right.
But crying about these poor children, she don't care about them kids.
No, she doesn't.
She cares about getting those parents' votes. That's all they care about.
That and making sure their donors are happy. And the donors want them over here, too.
Well, exactly. So that's all it just got under my skin when she's carrying on about loving the children and thinking if you loved them, you wouldn't kill them.
Well, it's like I said, and I told you this on the phone, but when I went to the Bell County Democrat Free the Children rally this weekend, I had a sign on me, and one of the worst things that drove them nuts, my sign said, end child separations, abolish abortion. Because if you truly cared about that, then that's what you would do. And so every time they would talk about how, it's for the children and don't separate mothers from their children, and you go into talking about how children are literally just torn apart by their policies, they kind of shut up a little bit. Then they start screaming about something else.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, Brenda, appreciate the call. We've got to run to break. When we come back, more on the squad and more on Republicans taking up for the squad. 866-895-6442. Back in just a moment.
Social Security disability attorney Ed Laughlin.
Are you disabled and unable to work? Have you been denied your Social Security disability benefits? Well, tell the federal government that you mean business. Call me toll-free at 1-800-492-2589 to schedule an immediate appointment with me in Killeen, Temple, or Waco. I'll appeal your denial and work hard to get you the benefits that you deserve. That's 1-800-492-2589. The phone call is free, and so is the appointment. You'll feel a lot better.
Here at the Logic Nation, we often encourage you to be logical. Now, I've got 2 more great words to live by. Get supplied. With Studio L as a center point, Smith Supply will provide you with everything to clean anything and deliver it on time within 150 miles. That means we can deliver cleaning supplies to any facility, any business, including hotels and motels, even industries and factories, anywhere in the Killeen, Temple, Fort Hood Metro, Waco, and Austin. No matter where you are, we can ship to your order. We also provide janitorial services and building maintenance in some areas. And our Temple showroom and our online catalog are open to the public. We're here to save you money and get your supplies to you on time, every time. So, get supplied. Since 1961, we're Smith Supply, 254-773-3592, and online at smithsupply.com. Here at Logic Nation, we're here to inform you, entertain you, and engage you.
We're also here to keep you informed about great products and services. Our goal is to seek out great sponsors for 2 major reasons.
The first reason is that we need sponsors to ensure that we can continue bringing you cutting-edge commentary, sound bites, and callers.
Second, we love telling you about companies that make your life better.
That's logical.
So make your company a part of our radio family.
At logicnation.us. Today.
I heard on the news about that 5-year-old who found his uncle's gun. The kid didn't know it was loaded.
I heard on the news about that 14-year-old girl who was bullied online for like a year. She couldn't take it anymore, so she got her dad's gun from his nightstand.
I heard on the news about that guy who broke into someone's house, stole a gun from the hall closet.
He accidentally shot his cousin in the head.
She killed herself.
And later, killed the owner of the store he was trying to rob.
If you own a gun, you have a full-time responsibility. When you aren't using it, be sure it can't get into the hands of curious children, at-risk teens, a thief, or anyone else who might misuse it. Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you to store your firearms safely. Remember, always, lock it up. For more information on firearm storage safety, visit ncpc.org. This message brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Logic Nation. 866-895-6442. Go to the phones in just a second. Many Republican lawmakers, the ones you would expect. We've heard Mitt Romney already. Susan Collins of Maine says she disagrees with many of the far-left members' views of the squad, but she said Trump's remarks were way over the line. What would you expect from Susan Collins? Lisa Murkowski from Alaska called Trump's words absolutely unacceptable. Again, what would you expect from Lisa Murkowski, Republican in name only? And then Tim Scott from South Carolina released a photo of his full statement on Twitter, concluding that Trump interjected with unacceptable personal attacks and racially offensive language. There was nothing racially offensive about it, Mr. Scott. But just go ahead. Make it up as you go, because you're no better than the Democrats. Those three and Mitt Romney might as well just declare themselves Democrats and be done with it.
Mm-hmm.
Quit lying to the people and letting people think that, if I vote for Republican, then these people will take good care of me. No, they're not. I mean, they don't do anything except go with the Democrats most of the time. Go to Marcus in Killeen. Hey, Marcus.
Hey there, David. How you doing, man?
Pretty good.
All right. Hey, we live in a time that's where it's not what you say, it's who you say it to it that makes you a racist, right?
That's true.
That is probably the best statement about the modern political climate that anyone's made.
Well, I mean, you and I can talk to Robert, for instance, and we can joke with Robert. Robert jokes with us. And none of us have any problem with it.
No.
And, he's not going to call us racist. We don't call him racist. I mean, no, it's just that's the way it is. It's fun.
But if I say something to you and I say that exact same thing to a Democrat who might happen to be a minority, even though I said the exact same thing, all of a sudden it's racist because I said it to that person.
Right.
Who's a Democrat.
Yeah.
Well, it's just proof because, David, if I say to you, shut up and go back where you came from, nobody's going to call me a racist.
Nope, that's
if
true.
I say that to AOC, they're all going to call me a racist.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not what you say. It's who you say it to.
Exactly, because they'll just twist it. I mean, that's the thing, too, is they're just twisting words around. I mean, yeah, he was getting after him pretty good on that tweet on Sunday, and he got after him again pretty good yesterday morning, which was fine. Because all he did was say they're not very American, and all they do is, if they don't seem to like it in this country, so if they don't like it here, they can go back somewhere else.
Yeah.
They're free.
But we've been saying that what's good golly, the Alyssa Milano.
Mm-hmm.
We tell her to leave the country. She's a white girl. She's about as white as you can get. Is it racist that we're telling her to leave the country too?
Well,
this is exactly what Marcus is talking about, because you say it about Alyssa Milano, and it's not a big deal. You say it about AOC, suddenly it's racist.
Well, it's just all this comes from the attitude of special categories of crime, right? That's why I'm a believer that all hate crime should be abolished. There should be no such thing as a hate crime.
I agree completely with that.
Actions are what constitute crimes, right? Not motive.
Yeah, and I would even argue that crimes in and of themselves are based on hate for freedom, respect for other people, their property, that kind of stuff. I mean, so it doesn't matter why you murdered someone. The point is you murdered someone.
Hey, but
that's an act of hate.
But we've got a hate crime investigation going on right now in the subways of New York City because Rapinoe's posters were knocked down, and ugly things were said about her. Oh, how terrible is that? I mean, we've got to have a hate crime investigation about that.
In a free democratic society, there should be no such thing as a hate crime.
Agreed.
I do.
Or hate speech.
Exactly. It's criminality, and I don't know where any of these judges can even justify this in jurisprudence, because at the end of the day, motive is only supposed to determine punishment, not guilt. Okay, so yeah, okay, you can understand. All right, somebody suffocated their mama because she was on machines and suffering and wanted to die. Okay, so they put her out of her misery, basically, right?
Sure.
Still killed her, still guilty of murder, right? But the judge might take those things into consideration when he sentences them, right?
Well, that's true. But the thing is, I mean, if you rob a bank or something and you're trying to get away, and one of the security guards is a person of color, and you shoot that person, you would have shot a white cop just as much as you would have shot a black cop or a Hispanic cop or whatever cop. You were just going to shoot whoever was coming after you. How is that a hate crime? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's why the hate crime thing is so. I mean, but the only people that cannot have a hate crime performed on them, white heterosexual males. That's it.
Well, it's certainly the people that are guilty or found guilty the most of hate crimes is white heterosexual males.
Well, yeah,
that's there's no doubt about that.
Got to put us in our place, right?
Well, it's amazing to me that you can have a situation where motivation is more important than the crime itself.
No, that's fact. I mean, that just seems to be the way it
you
goes.
Look at this guy up in Charlottesville, man. Okay, he ran over that girl and killed her and stuff like that, and he should be punished for that. They're giving this guy a second life sentence.
Yeah.
I mean, one ain't good enough, right? I mean, I don't know. Where's it in for that dude? You could walk in to a convenience store and shoot somebody dead, and get off in 20 years, right?
Pretty much.
But this guy that happened to run over some girl at a riot where they were all rioting, he's already got a 100-year sentence, right?
But that was Charlottesville. That was we had to lock this guy up forever and ever and ever and ever and ever, and he must die in prison because it was Charlottesville, and that was all Trump's fault. Don't you remember?
Well, I know what they said, but I do know something. If you look at disparities in justice, the guy that in Norway that killed all them kids on that island, Andreas, right, whatever his face is. You know how many years he got for doing that?
How many?
20. He'll be out shortly.
Yeah, well, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, it really doesn't because that's the way it is. Marcus, appreciate the call. Yeah, there's one thing that the Energy Department head on the Trump administration gave us here in Texas when he was governor, Rick Perry, is a hate crime law. And I've always wondered why do we have to have a hate crime law? Because it was political. I mean, it was totally political, and it made him seem like he cared about other people that weren't like him. Well,
it's just feel-good legislation.
Exactly.
All hate crime laws are just feel-good legislation that play into identity politics, and all that with the rise of hate crime has become a more divided America. Why? Because if you aren't protected under a hate crime, for example, as a white male, don't you think that people who are not protected are going to get a little bit more upset that when their family member dies or is killed by somebody in a homicide, that my wife her killer is not going to be treated with the same severity as the killer of someone who might happen to be black or Hispanic or gay or whatever? Why is my children's life less important than a police officer's life? Because now Texas, it's a hate crime to target a police officer now. So that's what's dividing this country are these hate crime laws, because it seeks to try and...
It plays to the Democratic narrative, too.
It does.
Because the Democrats are saying, well, hate crimes have gone up since Trump. Well, yeah, because everybody now, other than white heterosexual males, can be, if something bad happens to them, it's a hate crime.
And see, I'm not worried about it because the person that tries to kill me will probably be the one that ends up dead. But regardless, the point is, when you create hate crime laws, you basically tell people who do not fall under those laws that they are less important to society, that they have no value and no worth.
Yep, pretty much. It's like I say, it's a weird thing. But Marcus is right. It's not about what you say, it's who you say it about or who you say it to that gets you in trouble.
Why don't we just punish crimes equally hard?
Yeah.
Make criminal activity hurt again.
Yep. Geraldo Rivera on Fox. Trump was invoking the language of racism. Absolute racist and un-American, he called the tweets of Trump over the weekend. Geraldo says, I just hope it isn't a glimpse at his soul. I hope that he doesn't really believe every person of color comes from someplace else. Thank you, Geraldo. 866-895-6442. Back in a moment.
DWI and criminal defense attorney Ed Laughlin.
Just because you or a loved one has been pulled over or arrested for DWI does not mean you're guilty of DWI. I'm attorney Ed Laughlin, and to be arrested and charged with DWI, the officer has to only have probable cause that you're intoxicated. It's only the officer's opinion. However, to be convicted of DWI, your guilt must be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, which is a much stricter burden. If you have been arrested for DWI or any other offense and want an attorney who will rigorously defend you, call me at 1-800-492-2589 or log on to my website at edlaughlin.com. Over the past 25 years as an attorney, I've been both a prosecutor and now a defense attorney. You need an experienced attorney who will work hard to get you the justice that you deserve.
What are you waiting for? Call Ed now at 1-800-492-2589 to schedule a free confidential appointment or visit Ed's website at edlaughlin.com. First visit is always free. You're going to feel a whole lot better. See Ed's ad in Names and Numbers.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed. And they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover guitar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Dave, what are you doing?
Just sending a gift to Dave 2037.
Who?
Me in the future. I save a little money from every paycheck as a gift to Dave 2037, so he can spend it on things like anti-gravity boots or a hologram Doberman, something cool like that. I think Dave 2037 deserves it. He worked hard. What are you getting Steve 2037?
I guess I was thinking Steve 2037 would just fend for himself.
Well, all right, but don't expect to be borrowing my anti-gravity boots.
You want to have money in your future? You got to start saving now. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1,000,000. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
Hey, let's just hope Steve 2037 doesn't get his hands on a cold time machine, because he is going to come back here and knock some sense into you.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
3, 2, 1. Oh no. Which button am I?
When every second counts, you can't wing it.
Guys, a little help up here?
In a home fire, you may have less than 2 minutes to get out. So make a family home fire escape plan. Then practice home fire drills at least twice a year so everyone knows what to do when they hear. Prepare your family at ready.gov/fire drill. Brought to you by FEMA, the Ad Council, and Make Safe Happen.
I can't believe he found them.
He seems sorry.
We very clearly told him not to look up there.
I'm honestly impressed that he was able to do it.
Right? What did he balance on that big chair?
Yeah, I mean, I guess he'll just know what his gifts are this year.
I really thought we had hidden them well.
If they can find their presents, they can find a gun.
911, what is your emergency?
Every day, 8 kids and teens are unintentionally killed or injured by loaded and unlocked guns. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and End Family Fire.
Welcome back into Logic Nation. Final half hour on a Tuesday. David Hodges, CJ Grisham with you from the Ed Laughlin Attorney at Law Studios in Temple. 85 degrees already outside. Do you think this is going to be a warm one?
Oh, man.
I have a feeling that it might be.
You know, yesterday I cleaned out my my Connex,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like a sauna in there.
Oh.
And, man, because I was trying to get rid of a bunch of furniture, make some room and all that, but
yeah,
I was drenched.
I imagine. I worked a little bit in the pool. I worked on the pool a little bit, and it didn't take too much to remind me that
it's
probably need to go back and get some air conditioning.
It's pretty bad when you go out into the 95-degree heat, and you're like, oh, this feels so much better.
Yeah, but then 866-895-6442. Number to call, and then you've got some more on the lovely.
Actually, I'm sorry. It was
Omar.
Rashida Tlaib.
Was it? Oh, Rashida
Yeah, I'm
Tlaib.
sorry.
Yeah.
So that was my fault. But there's a story out now on NBC News. So this is not the Babylon Bee. Of course, it could be fake news. It's NBC. Title: Palestinians denounce Trump tweets against local hero Rashida Tlaib. So.
So she's a hero for the Palestinians?
She's a hero for the Palestinians.
Oh, good Lord.
So on Monday, they denounced President Trump's attack on Rashida Tlaib, of course, accusing him of racism, and said, once again, proves his bias against the Palestinian people. So Trump said the women should go back to the broken and crime-infested places where they came from, ignoring the fact that all are American citizens. Okay. And where they came from is crime infested.
Every one of them. Yeah. So, hey.
So, anyway, yeah. So I just thought that was a pretty funny headline there in NBC. Palestinians denounce Trump tweets against local hero Rashida Tlaib. It's so good to hear that Rashida Tlaib is a hero in terrorist-run Palestine.
You know, when you read me that headline, I was like, oh, that's got to be the Babylon Bee or the Onion or something fake. I mean, then you were like, no, it's NBC. I was like, well, it could be still fake, but still, like you said, but you can run with it because, hey, why not? John Meacham is a big-time, he thinks, American history person. Now, he's also on MSNBC all the time. So that ought to tell you something about John Meacham. Meacham included Trump's Charlottesville remarks and his quest for former President Barack Obama's birth certificate, in addition to his comments regarding the squad, to bolster his case, saying that Trump has joined Andrew Johnson as the most racist president in American history. Everybody ever heard of Woodrow Wilson, who resegregated the government? Anybody ever heard of
Andrew
Franklin
Jackson, anyone?
Delano Roosevelt, who's rounded up all the Japanese Americans? But no, Trump, he's the worst racist in the history of the presidency, according to John Meacham. Take that.
Andrew Jackson only slaughtered Indians left and right.
Trail of Tears.
Trump, how many people has Trump killed and forced into?
Yeah, not American citizens. Yeah. No. All right, let's talk to Democrats.
For the little people, there's enough fresh air and sunshine in this great country of ours for everybody. And I'll see to it that you'll get your share.
Kamala Harris tweeted to renew her pledge to bypass Congress and enact executive gun control when she is elected president. Now, she's sitting like fourth, I think, right now. But she says gun violence is the leading cause of death for young black men in America. We must stop this. When president, I will take executive action to ensure guns do not fall into the wrong hands. Ms. Harris, I hate to break this to you, but I had a story earlier about all the shootings that happened in Chicago over the weekend. And Chicago is one of the most gun-lawed places on earth. You think you're really going to get the guns away from the members of the gangs? I don't think so. And tell you this, too. I'm not sure that with executive action, you're going to get private guns away from any of us. But, hey, take a shot if you want. But anyway. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is defining the Democratic Party for white working-class voters, and only 22% approve. New poll reportedly shows that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is increasingly defining the Democratic Party for white working-class voters, and I think this is why Trump has called out the squad. He wants the squad to be the face of the Democratic Party. According to Axios, and this is an inter-party poll for the Democrats, and Axios got a hold of it. Ocasio-Cortez recognized by 74% of voters in the poll, but she had a 22% favorable view. Good for Trump.
Yeah.
Representative Ilhan Omar of Minnesota, another member of the squad, recognized by 53% of the voters. 9% had a favorable view. And this is Democratic internal polling. This is not, they've got to be going, what? But they're out there defending these two and the other two. Capitalism, 56% favorable, 32% unfavorable. Socialism is toxic to these voters, said the top Democrat. Socialism was viewed favorably by only 18% of voters that were polled, unfavorably by 69%. But they're all running on socialism, and Ocasio-Cortez and Ilhan Omar, part of the squad, Trump's got them now as the face of the Democrats. You can say what you want. This looks like a win for Trump. Again, they can call him racist all day. You think he cares? He knows he's not.
Yeah, who cares what they say?
Need to sell your house? Most agents will put a sign in the ground, post it, and pray. My name is Ryan Smith of the Ryan Smith Home Selling Team and Keller Williams Realty. My business is based on getting top dollar for my clients. I believe in that so much that I will put my money where my mouth is. I will sell your house in 90 days or less, guaranteed, or I'll sell it for free. I've developed an exclusive marketing system proven to get you up to 18% more money. If you want to know how I do it, I'll send you a copy of my marketing plan for free. 254-213-5335. Using my system, I recently sold a house for Brandon and Cassidy in Temple's Wyndham Hill subdivision at the top of the market. My system gets full price offers, multiple offers, and bidding wars. That means you make the most money. Don't take chances with your equity. No obligation, no commitments. You're not happy? I'll let you out of the program. There's literally no reason not to call. 254-213-5335. That's 254-213-5335. We are the Ryan Smith Home Selling Team. Call us today and start packing tomorrow.
At Logic Nation, our power is in our callers. In fact, Pat's on the phone. Pat, welcome to Logic Nation. What's on your mind today?
I get that you're the Logic Nation, but what about love, peace, and harmony, man? Why don't you ever talk about these issues?
We try to keep our listeners informed about local issues that matter to them, both locally here in the great state of Texas and in our nation.
You talk an awful lot about freedom and constitutional rights, but what about my right to express my emotions like love, peace, and harmony? What about my right to not be offended by what you're saying?
Well, Pat, you've gotten off the Logic train, and now you're boarding the Emotional Express. That's a high-speed rail to nowhere. Here at Logic Nation, irrational emotional instability has no place in logical discussion.
But I need constant reassurance that my emotional stability will be coddled and my opinions force-fed to me.
Listen to Logic Nation Monday through Friday from 8 to 11 a.m., right before Rush, right here on KTEM, where logic is never derailed by emotion.
Has your perfect candidate been eliminated from a political race? Have your values and conceits been put upon and bruised? Well, don't fret over hashtag dumps or I'll never whatevers. It's time for you to try Voter Agra. Yes, Voter Agra takes your deep depression from your candidate losing and makes your vote rise like a phoenix from the ashes of defeat. Voter Agra makes you turn down griping and moaning and lets you enjoy the old-time thrill of voting. So lose your sullenness and get your voter suddenness back with huge results. Voter Agra. Isn't it time you tried Voter Agra and got back into the political game again? Voter Agra. Available now at IHateAllCandidates.com and I'm right and everyone else is wrong.com. Voter Agra. Welcome back into Logic Nation for your Tuesday, the 16th of July. Go to the phones. Mike in Temple has been waiting patiently. Mike, go ahead.
Yes, sir. How are you guys today?
Good.
Can't complain.
There you go. Say, Trump's wanting to catch them illegal immigrants. I can tell them where to go where they can catch them by the busloads.
Okay, where?
Go to any flea market or garage sales. You can catch them. You don't have to go chase them. They'll come right to you.
I thought you were going to say Walmart or Lowe's or Home Depot, but
or any construction site where they're building houses.
Yeah, well, that's probably right. Yeah, ICE. They caught what they say, 2,000 over the weekend?
Yeah,
something like that. I mean, it's kind of a drop in the bucket, but still, at least it was something.
Yes, sir. You guys have a wonderful day.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Mike. Oh man! All right, here we go. It's time. We've talked about the Democrats, so that brings up the leader right now in the clubhouse, Gropey Joe.
I love babies. Show me babies. Lots of babies. Where's the babies? Line up the babies. Where are the darlings? I'm just wild about children.
Yeah, women and children first. That's Gropey Joe. Let me sniff you. Vice President Joe Biden repeated one of his old boss's most infamous pledges yesterday, saying under his proposal, if you like your health care plan, you can keep it.
I feel like I've heard that before somewhere.
Holy 2009, Batman. I mean, really? The 2020 Democratic frontrunner released a health plan yesterday that nobody's seen because of the the squad and their squabble with Trump. He says this will build on the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare, which includes subsidies to lower prices on the exchanges and also allows for a public option his campaign calls similar to Medicare. Biden says, I'll give people the option. If you like your health care plan, your employer-based plan, you can keep it. If, in fact, you have private insurance, you can keep it.
Don't we have that now?
Yeah, we have it now. But apparently he's just, he wants to go back to Obamacare, because it's going to be Biden Obamacare now.
But we still have Obamacare. The only difference is we're not getting fined for not having
it. All right.
So I don't.
Oh, and if you're an AARP member, I'm just wanting to tell you, they keep hitting me up because I'm old enough now to be on AARP. I just throw it away because it's AARP. They were one of the big sponsors of Obamacare. And guess what? Where Biden was talking, an AARP-sponsored forum. So if there's other places that you can get the same thing that's AARP is doing that are conservative places. AMAC could be one of them.
Yeah,
but I'm not pushing it. If you like your AARP, you can keep your AARP.
That's right.
But I'm just telling you,
just get the government out of it. Just leave me alone. I can keep my private health care right now, so I don't need you, government, to get involved in that.
Oh, come on. You need the government. You need it badly. Everybody knows.
Let me tell you something. All right, now, I'm going to make two statements here. The first one is I love this VA. I have personally not had any issues with the VA here. The people there have been great. I feel like I'm cared for, which leads to my second point, when I get my appointment. So it takes months for me to be able to make a VA appointment. Months. Now, once I get in there, I feel like I'm well taken care of. But this is exactly what the Democrats' health care plan will be like for everyone.
Yeah, and that doesn't sound that great.
I got lucky with that root canal.
Mm-hmm.
My appointment wasn't going to be until September
Ouch.
to fix that issue I was having where I couldn't even sleep. I got lucky that they called me during the show and said, hey, we've got a cancellation. And they only called me because I happened to live next to the VA.
Right.
And so they knew I'd be there within 5 minutes. But if that's the kind of health care you want, vote Democrat. If you want to wait in pain, and they wouldn't give me any pain meds in the meantime, by the way.
Those are opioids, and we don't do that anymore.
Right. So
yeah.
I love the people at the VA. Don't get me wrong. I love them. They're great. They're professional. They take care of us when you get that appointment.
Yeah. And that's the trouble. Most government healthcare systems are like that.
Yes.
I've talked to many Canadians that didn't like the way they were treated either because it was the wait. It wasn't the actual health care. This is Joe Biden talking about Democrats.
AOC is brilliant, and the other three women we're talking about are really smart. But they are the exception rather than the rule. If you listen to the guys and women in your business, they say that's the majority of people who got elected. We need that kind of energy, but that's not the majority of Democrats who got elected last time.
So wait a minute. They're intelligent, but they're the exception to the rule? We've finally gotten some honesty from a Democratic candidate.
Uncle Joe gaps again. When we come back, we got one more Uncle Joe cut. And also his support is slipping. Kamala Harris is coming on strong. Back in just a moment.
Here's the way most people think of work zones on Texas highways.
I drive all over the state, and work zones are everywhere. They really slow me down.
Oh, they make me crazy. I have to drop my speed from 65 to 55 to 45. Can't they just finish already?
I depend on my cruise control, but every time I come into a work zone, I've got to turn it off and on and off and back on again. It's frustrating.
And those frustrations are understandable. But if people thought about it realistically, they might say things like this.
I'm slowing down and being extra careful because I don't want to cause a crash or get hurt or kill somebody.
Oh, sure, it's a pain right now, but when they're finished, we're going to have the best roads in the country.
Work zone ahead. Fines double. I'm slowing down.
Last year, more than 15,000 crashes occurred in Texas work zones, and more than 100 people lost their lives. So when you enter a work zone, slow down, pay extra attention, and stay away from that cell phone. Be safe. Drive smart. This message brought to you by the Texas Department of Transportation.
Ranger Station, Ranger speaking.
Yeah, hi. I'd like to report a bear sighting.
Location.
In the forest near the side of the road.
No need for alarm, sir. The forest is where bears live.
But this was no ordinary bear.
No ordinary bear?
1 second, I'm having a smoke taken in the view. Next thing I know, I am face to face with Smokey Bear.
Let me guess, Smokey had a tip for you.
He did. He must have seen me toss my cigarette on the ground. He told me never to do that because it only takes one spark to start a wildfire.
He's a smart bear. Did you know that 9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans? That means 9 out of 10 wildfires can be prevented.
That's what Smokey said. I had no idea.
That's why Smokey's famous, and you're not.
Good point.
If you see someone in danger of starting a wildfire, step in and make a difference, because 9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans. Brought to you by Smokey Bear, the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council. Learn more at smokeybear.com. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Psst. Yeah, you. It's me, your heart. Listen to me. We've got to talk. High blood pressure is serious, and yours? Whoa. What happened to us? We used to be so much more active. But lately you've been ignoring me. I know you think I'm just gonna keep ticking away forever, but you're wrong. You can do so much more to control your high blood pressure. Doing the minimum isn't doing enough. I'm under a lot of pressure and can quit whenever I want. Bet you didn't know that. But I like my job. Just treat me better. Check on me. Give me something green to nibble on every once in a while. And maybe we can do some exercise on occasion. Let's get to it. After all, we're in this together.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get your blood pressure to a healthy range before it's too late. Find out how at heart.org/blood pressure. Check, change, control. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back into Logic Nation. We wrap it up for a Tuesday morning. We were talking about Vice President Joe Biden, but listen to this again because this is just like this is radio gold with Biden and his gaffes.
AOC's brilliant, and the other three women we're talking about are really smart, but they are the exception rather than the rule. If you listen,
they're brilliant and really smart, but they're the exception to the rule by Democrats. Okay. Thank you, Joe. Good old Joe. Joe, he's from Scranton, Pennsylvania. I ain't going to take Trump out behind
Stand up, Joe. Oh, God bless you.
Yeah. Chuck. Stand up, Chuck. Stand up, Chuck. Oh, God bless you. What about, everybody stand up for Chuck. You got everybody standing for you, Chuck. A gaffe machine. And more Joe Biden.
I will apologize for deportations if, in fact, you were deported because, in fact, you're engaged in a misdemeanor and or your family was separated. We need family separation. I don't have time to do it now.
We need family separation? Well, there goes that Democrat candidate.
Another gaffe. He's radio gold every day. You can't beat him. I mean, he's just, Ocasio-Cortez tries, but she's way too young. She'll
catch up to
She hasn't mastered the perfect gaffe. He just leaves words out. And what I'm sure meant to say was we need to stop separating families, but instead he says we need to separate families. He's the leader, though. Here's the Hill poll. That's a Harris poll. 29% of Democrats are still on the Biden train. That's a 4-point drop from Biden from an identical poll posted 2 weeks ago. Bernie Sanders has moved into a comfortable second place at 16%. And that was not enough as a tax rate. 16% is not enough. We need a 70% margin here. Kamala Harris has moved past Elizabeth Warren. Kamala at 11% at this point. Liz Warren is at 9%. Beto O'Rourke at 3%. And the lovely and benign Pete Buttigieg, Mayor Pete,
Where's she polling at?
1%.
Oh.
There's another whole 17% out there, but it's been Mike Gravel's probably got 0.5% because he's in the debates now.
Here's some internal Dem polling of swing voters as put out by Frank Luntz. AOC is known by 74% of voters. Only 22 have a favorable view.
Right.
Ilhan Omar is known by 53% of voters. Only 9% have a favorable view. These are, by the way, Democrats. Socialism, only 18% have a favorable view of socialism and 69% unfavorable. Capitalism, favorability rating, only 56%, unfavorability, 32%. So they're on the wrong side of this. The squad,
I'm telling you,
is on the wrong side of this.
Trump has got the Democrats right where he wants them. I mean, it's just a matter of getting it done now. I mean, it's the face of the Democratic Party is the squad. And I think that was the whole strategy of this whole mess this weekend. Because it's like, okay, you want to play around with socialists and all these young babes. It doesn't have anything to do with the color of their skin. They're worried about racism. No, it's not racism. It's the fact that he wants to wrap the Democratic Party in the socialist train that those four, the squad, are actually going with. And apparently he's achieving it. Susan Sarandon, the actress, I really liked Susan Sarandon as an actress. I'm sorry that she's like a nut job for Bernie Sanders. She praised radical freshman squad members, including Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez yesterday, for standing up to this racist president. Okay. Okay. Bull Durham was a long time ago, and I really like that movie. Michael Moore, the big fat idiot that makes films, just propaganda films, and makes money doing it. I don't know. He's saying that there's no better day than Sunday to round up the poor and working poor, those without white skin, and remove them from our midst. And for this act of yours, Mr. President, on God's day, I offer you the book of Psalms, Psalm 10, a prayer for the overthrow of the wicked. I mean, Michael Moore, like I say, Michael Moore caused a big stir. When I lived in Crawford and George W. Bush was out in Crawford, he was going to show Fahrenheit 9/11 in Crawford. And they bust people in from Austin and Dallas to see this because they wanted to see Michael Moore. They had counter protests, Republican and conservatives. Lynn Woolley was part of that. And you know whose fat butt didn't show up?
Michael Moore?
Michael Moore. Have a great day. We'll do it again tomorrow. God bless America. God bless President Trump.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes?
How could he do this to you? And for Sheila, she has split ends.
B, console her.
Oh, sweetie, this is going to happen a lot. 4, maybe 5 more times before you get married.
C, take charge.
Got to get this all straightened out. Give a little talking to, man to man, mano a mano. Hey, Steve.